my Cincinnati. You're everything I need to get up and make myself dance. You're my morning glory, I love you every morning. You're my leather jacket, you always got my back, yeah. You're my broken headphones, you know I'll always smash it because you're everything to me. Girl, you're my roller coaster. Girl, you're my chicken sandwich. Baby, you're my Cincinnati. You're everything I need to get up and dance. You're my catty vixen, always got the fixins. You're my feather boa, I love you even more. You're my bull machine, clung too hard to fling because you're everything to me. Girl, you're my roller coaster. Girl, you're my chicken sandwich. Baby, you're my Cincinnati. You're everything I need to get up and dance. Everything new I learned through you. Everything I see reminds me of you're my roller coaster. Girl, you're my chicken sandwich. Baby, you're my Cincinnati. You're everything I need to get up and dance. Girl, you're my roller coaster. You're my chicken sandwich, my parents. You're my Cincinnati. You're everything I Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want you to join us in welcoming the world's greatest DJ. His name is Till Mix. Ooh yeah, we partying with ghosts, ghosts, ghosts. They're the sexiest. Ooh yeah, partying with ghosts, 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 ghosts. Till Mix. Ooh yeah, we partying with ghosts, 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 ghosts. They're the sexiest. Ooh yeah, we partying with ghosts, 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 ghosts. Till Mix. They're the sexiest. Ghosts, ghosts. No gay demon masks, just ghosts, ghosts.
All right, people, how we doing? What's everybody up to on this Saturday? Hope you're out there kicking some ass. Maybe you're doing some yard work like King Yeti's out there doing some yard work. Shout out to you, bro. But I hope you're having a good time. James, Saturday, how you doing, buddy? Well, what are you up to over there? What's going on? What's cracking? Oh, I see you
Just drinking a small, yeah, I'm just drinking a small Americano with a dash of milk. And there's this thing, there's this guy online, he's been getting at me on YouTube and he's been saying, that's just a white coffee. And I'm like, mate, go into Costa, right? Order an Americano, small, medium, or large, right? And they'll ask you, do you want some milk with that? And I'm like, yeah, darling, I want a dash of milk. So it's a small Americano with a dash of milk. And this is a small Americano with a dash of milk.
Oh, there you go, bro. A small Americano, a dash of milk. Now, we're matching a little bit. Both got the orange on, the coral. Maybe it's not straight up orange, but let's
because
go.
I've been doing research about aura thieves, right? Apparently, there's some, like, I couldn't find a lot, but apparently, D-Wag will know about this because he's a geek. He says an aura thief is a card from Magic the Gathering.
All right.
It is classified as a creature illusion. The ability states that when the creature dies, you gain control of its enchantments. Well, son, I ain't dying anytime soon, so you ain't stealing my aura. Bro.
Yeah. No, we had a good time last night. That was a lot of fun. Lunch table.
Yeah.
It was a goofy stream, but it was a lot of fun. How'd you like it, James? What'd you think?
Do you know what? I was like, this scene stealer is going to steal scenes. And I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable with that. You know what I mean? But D-Wag, he's got like a tiny bit of aura.
He's got aura. You got to admit.
Yeah,
D-Wag's got aura.
He has got it. I don't know what type of aura it is, but it's certainly aura.
Yeah.
And he's got a bit of charm. He's got a bit of magnetism. He likes to come at the big dog, and the big dog lets him have some scraps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Zayd is a good guy. Zayd is
Yeah.
like a really good guy. I've always said this. I know fuck all about art. I'm not really an artist, but I know what I like. I like your cartoons. They appeal to me, and I think Zayd is his art is appealing. It's eye catching. It's popping. You know what I mean? And I also like the fact that he's a tattoo artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And fuck, he made a fucking sword, right? He made a little dagger that looks like what Arya used to kill the Night King in Game of Thrones, and he gave 3 of them away and kept the original.
Yeah.
So the man's got talent, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
And
got talent.
anyone can come and. He's got talent, he's got things to say, so it's good.
As soon as I knew, as soon as he said he was a tattoo artist, you guys would be bros right away. But let me go ahead and
I just love it, man.
yeah, let me jump down in the chat. We got DJ John, Miami John out there, trying to get confirmation on if Ralph has a flat penis. I think Miami John is very interested in that. On the John out there, shout out to On the John too. Do we know? I know I saw that Ralph released a whole bunch of Ricada text or something like that. I don't know what that's going on. On the John, shout out to you. Says he asked if it looks like a vape pen. Shout out to Pat out there.
I saw that.
Yeah, we got our boy King Yeti out there. He says orange is objectively the best color. He's out there doing some yard work today.
This is true.
I hope you get the yard work all pulled together, bro. Then get a nice beer or Coke or whatever it is you're gonna enjoy later on. We got Monk Fruit out there. Mary's Punch 07 to you, bro. Of course, DJ John, Miami John out there. Already done. Shared it. Let's fucking go. Hit that like button, everybody. We need those likes. Hit those, shares. Retweet that shit. Let people know we're live over here. Let them know that we're doing something, okay? Don't let them be out there and fall off the cliff and nobody hears us. We're shouting into the void.
Don't let them die wondering. Don't let them die wondering.
Yeah. We got Dickie didn't post over here. Good to see you, bro. Who else we got? Mr. Jeeky, of course. Shout out to you, Mr. Jeeky. Let's fucking go. We got Ric Flair's hair in here. Woo! Always good to see Ric Flair's hair. That guy is a fucking legend. Shout out to you, bro. Hope you're having a great day. Who else we got in here? Did I miss everybody? Let me make sure I got everybody. Okay, we got everybody. All right, let's fucking go. Oh yeah, Monk Fruit says he'll retweet it now. Be like Monk Fruit. Or retweet that shit. Monk Fruit, I hope you're having a good day in Indiana delivering. I know it's kind of cold and windy over there, the weather. How's the weather where you're at, James? Is it picking up or better? Or no?
It is. Yeah, this is the weird dichotomy of English weather. We finally get the first knockings of spring. Beautiful sun, right? Bollock cold. Freezing. Absolutely free. I thought this was the first day where the ladies are going to get a thrill. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to do a run with my top off. Not a fucking chance, mate. Hoodie weather. That's what I'm telling you.
When are you going to start running again? I know you're like an avid cross-country runner. When are you thinking about doing? Does the weather?
As soon as the weather breaks, and as soon as the ground gets firm again, you know what I mean? It's like, because like over in the fields, it's just sludge. You know what I mean? You can't really run in the sun. We've had so much rain. So much bad weather, I want the ground to firm up a bit. But as soon as that, I'm going to be on it. I've got my knockoff GoPro that fell off the back of a lorry. I've got that in there. I don't know how to work it. I'm going to get an SD card, I think, and try and learn how to use it and give it a crack. It'll probably be a very piss poor effort that everyone will be on me for. But bear with me. I'll try and get some footage.
You better be careful. D-Wag is going to tell you got to get a better camera. You need some better wires. You need better audio. I saw that you put the dead cat on the microphone. It sounds a lot better outdoors. I saw that on your videos.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I can't remember who suggested that. Who's it? It was John Campbell. Was it John Campbell who suggested that? Because my old guy was like...
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's part of the charm, surely.
Don't clip that, people. Don't clip James doing that, bro. Come on. Don't do that, James. Don't do that.
I don't give a fuck, mate. The aura is unstoppable. It can't be stopped. See, I'm not, D-Wag's trying to he's trying to glom off a bit of the aura, you know what I mean? He keeps trying to knock my confidence, but you can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, D-Wag's got aura for days. But yeah, you gotta get it back out there, do some running ones. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I want to get Kick up and running. I told you. I want to get the Kick is where I see our future being at. Right? I think Kick is a good platform. I think all the people that are trending, all the people that are making noise. Like I was watching Jim Skin today. He had 2,000 people, and he was just going around buying fucking Pokemon cards, flexing the aura, talking a load of shit, and it's buzzing over there. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of Rumble. I told you. The only person on Rumble I give a toss about is Mersh. I'm not a particular fan of Rumble. I think it's a shit site, shit app, and it's full of like old conservative boomers. You know what I mean? I'd rather watch fucking paint dry than be around that lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No offense to those people. They're doing gangbusters. They're all botted to hell. You know what I mean? It's fucking, they're all making money or whatever. I don't know, but it's just not my scene. It's not my style.
Yeah.
I don't feel it.
You could tell that YouTube is starting to go more mainstream. They're making bigger deals with like people like Netflix. They're trying to get bigger.
BBC, they made a deal with the BBC.
Bigger brands. And
they're starting to collaborate.
When that happens, other platforms are going to kick off. It's going to be Kick, I think, is going to be the next one. There might be one that comes up after that. Right now, Kick they have a botting issue too right now. You heard about that, right, James?
No, that's news to me. They've got bot problem as well.
Yeah, they like people will go bot like different people's streams, and like Sneeko went from like 2,000 to 30,000 the other day, and he had to report it or else he risked like getting kicked off or something like that. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. That's where all the kids are. And wherever the kids are going to go is going to be the hot new platform.
I suppose it goes with like the trend, doesn't it? It goes with like, bots go where the action is, I guess. And it's like fucking, but that's where like you said, it's where the youngsters are the pulse, aren't they? They're the ones they've got their finger on the pulse. They're the ones that are the movers and the shakers. They're the ones that are on the trends, you know what I mean? And you want to be around like the younger generation, man. Like I told you, this Jim Skin, he's got 1 million fucking followers on TikTok. I'd kill fucking everyone in England to get fucking 1 million followers on TikTok, mate. My TikTok's in the fucking
hypothetically, in Minecraft.
Hypothetically, just a joke. Yeah, I'm not being serious. I'll only kill half of them.
DJ John in the chat, he says he thinks that we get kickoff of Kick, as a matter of fact. So DJ John also says,
why would they kick
all the bots, all the platforms bots? Yeah, we'll give it a try. I can multi-stream.
You've got to give it a crack,
Yeah, we're gonna give it a crack. We're gonna do that. But let me jump down here real quick and kind of go through some of these little bit of the announcements real fast before we can dive into what we're gonna chit chat about. We got right here. I got the little video of Brandon, my boy Brandon. He finally got his mug. We got the St. Mersh mug is going out to everybody. So don't forget, guys. I got my mugs over here. If you want to get a couple mugs, there's the St. Mersh mug right there. Kitty mug, more cat mugs. I got all kinds of mugs. There's the Alex Stein Big Booty Latinas Can Stay mug. We got the Vito.
What happened to him?
His contract at the Blaze stopped, and so now he's trying to do some other stuff. I saw he was doing some AM radio or FM radio, and of course he's running his own channel. But I think he's figuring out what his next direction's going to be. But we still love Stein. I love Stein. Stein's a great guy. We got a Red Bar one. We got Clipple one. We got Vito flashing. Then we got our Let's Go Jared mug. Of course, the OG, the Nightwave mugs, the Louis Fats mug, the Clarence mug, the Bad Luck Boys mug, Marge and Mersh, and a whole bunch of others. We got Staff Sergeant Bucket mug. That one's a great one, especially if we're going to go to war. So let's check that out. Also, we got James Domenico Graben at YouTube. Go check him out. He's going to do some running videos pretty soon. He's a cross-country runner, avid runner, so that's fantastic. Also, I wanted to bring to your attention a couple of other ones. I was listening, we were talking about streams last night, James. And so it made me think of probably, I wanted to share with you guys the top 3 or 4 streams that I think I've watched this week. And so I pulled them up real quick. I got this one right here. It's the Mexican cartel hitman reveals life as a paid killer. It's on the Connect with Johnny Mitchell. Fucking great podcast. It's a fantastic. I used to be subscribed, but then I kept getting all kinds of like stuff I didn't want to watch. So I unsubscribed, but we'll give him a good subscription right there. We'll give him a little subscribe, but that was a fantastic interview. So check that interview out. Then we got a Charleston White interview with Terrence the Gangster Williams. This was a great interview. Of course, this isn't made for you to listen to with kids and stuff. Don't have kids in the room, right? He says all kinds of bad words and all that kind of stuff. But we're adults here. But the thing about Charleston White is he's dropping game on like the social media game, the branding game. He's dropping relationship, like real stuff, real talk. So very interesting, very funny. and also it's good to get a sense of what other people are listening to, what other parts of the culture. Then we got I was also listening to Legion of Men with Bo Refek. He's a good guy. He was talking basically this morning about what the media won't tell you about the Iran war part two. A lot of fun. I like to listen to him. He's straight to the point, no fluff. So that's a lot of fun. And then, of course, I like predictive history with Professor Zhang. Now, I know Professor Zhang is a little bit of a hot topic right now. He's getting popularity. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, he's not good, or he's bad, or he's whatever.
What's he, another industry plant, is he?
Right.
Yeah, one of those.
But the thing that I like to tell you guys is you're never going to agree with anybody 100% of the time on anything. But Professor Zhang has crystallized a lot of the formulas that you see in the world accurately, and I've taken away a lot of things from his podcast that I agree with, like his game theory, Pax Judaica, the legacy of the steps, all kinds of stuff that he talks about. So give him a listen if you want to hear some more higher level, higher IQ kind of concepts about how the world really works. Because if you think that the world works by we vote harder, then we win, you're wrong, because that's not how it works. Obviously, we've been voting a certain way, and they bring immigrants in, they do all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, for example, bro, didn't Trump say we weren't going to do boots on the ground? We were just going to do, regime change. And here we wake up this morning and we have, what is it, between 2,500 and 5,000 Marines getting dropped off an aircraft carrier in amphibious vehicles to go to the Strait of Hormuz. What do you think about that, James? I mean, like, we didn't vote for that.
Mission creep. That's always the way. You know what happens? You can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs. You know, when people say that you can just go in and out, you know what I mean? You can just do it all without getting down and dirty. It never happens like that. You know what I mean? We all remember Iraq. We all remember Afghanistan. We know what's happened with Russia and Ukraine. We know what's happened with Israel and Palestine. It gets elongated, it gets dirty, it gets messy. Because if you're an American, you probably think that you can just go in there, right? No resistance. You can just wipe the floor with them. You've got the most powerful military in the world. Nothing can stop you imposing your will and doing it on your timetable. Wrong. These people have got their resistance. They've got the Iran Revolutionary Guard. They feel slighted. They've lost family members. They've lost mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, cousins. These people have just got revenge and hate in their heart. And what you'll find is they'll fight tooth and nail to keep what they've got there and keep America and a regime change out. And also you'll find that they'll launch offensives in America and in the UK. There'll be domestic terror operations. You've seen it already, haven't you, in America? They've targeted, wasn't it something in was it Detroit?
Yeah.
They went after a Jewish school or something.
Yeah, and there's also been a number of explosions in refineries and other chemical plants throughout America, like 3 or 4 of them. The crazy thing,
I think they've named, haven't they?
Yeah,
they've named to do Iraq.
The crazy, the crazy thing is we bring all these immigrants in and then we go to war. Like, it's almost like it's a plan to break up America rather than win the war or the police action like Vietnam over in Iran. It doesn't make any sense, James.
Well, I always said it's the enemy within. You have to understand, right? We have got a very weak leader. He's left wing. He's caught between a rock and a hard place. He wants to get involved because he's kind of like a war hawk in the mold that Tony Blair was, that Gordon Brown was, that era of Labour politics. But he also has to bear in mind that we now have 6 million Muslims in this country and their vote counts. And they don't want you to go into other Muslim countries and bomb the shit out of them. They are very much on the side of Palestine over Israel. They are very much on the side of the Ayatollah, old Ayatollah, new Ayatollah, the Iran regime. And if you ask the people that we always talk about, the old white retirees and the university class, they are very much on the side of the Iran regime. So you do have the enemy within. You have the government saying, yeah, we support America, we support Israel, we support Donald Trump. But also, everyone who votes for our party and put us where we are, they're on the side of Iran and the Iran Revolutionary Guard and the Muslims. So you're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place.
Well, yeah, I agree with that, and definitely here in America, you definitely have all the immigrants are definitely on the side of Iran, but the evangelical Christians are all on the side of Israel, which is strange. What do you make about these AI videos coming out about Netanyahu? Do you think he's really dead? He's had some speeches. They look like they're AI. Teeth disappear, reappear. He's got 6 fingers sometimes. Did they get Netanyahu, do you think, James, or is he? I thought he fled to Berlin.
Look, who knows? He may have stayed. He may have gone. He could be dead. You could. The thing I think about it now, everyone can be touched. You know what? It's very different. But when I was copping it sweet, and I was getting all that abuse about my mum and all that stuff, right? And it's like I'm like thinking about that guy, and I'm like, it's a very small world, mate. Canada is not that far away. You say stuff, you do stuff, you commit actions, but everyone can be touched now because it's a small world. And I truly believe, like they said, they got the Ayatollah, didn't they? They got his father straight away, and they said now, haven't they? His son took over, and they said that they've either killed the son, or he's fatally injured, or he's mortally wounded. So they've obviously gone and targeted him. So it stands to reason that Iran could target and get Netanyahu. You've seen what they're capable of. They're not just they're not ineffectual. And he would be the prime target because they hate Israel, they hate the Jews, they hate Netanyahu. It stands to reason they try and take him out, wouldn't they? He's the mortal enemy, number one target. Get rid of him. Then you can maybe affect regime change. You get someone in who wants to pull back, doesn't want a war, wants to make peace with Palestine, wants a 2-state solution. You always see, don't you? There's a lot of demonstrations in Israel that are very pro-Palestine. They want peace with the Palestinians, don't they? I don't know if that's going to work out. I think probably what you're going to find eventually will be a 1-state solution in the favor of Palestine. I think that's where it's going to go eventually. Yeah, but there are a lot of Jews that don't want war. There are a lot of Jews that want to make peace. There are a lot of Jews, not outside of Israel. Netanyahu's hated, but he's hated with inside Israel. A lot of Jews can't stand him.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of Israeli Jews. And you've also got Arab Jews living there, haven't you, that can't stand him?
Yeah.
They've got minority Arab parties that fucking hate his
the
guts.
thing about it is, it says it seemed like that Iron Dome did too well, did it? Seems like the Iron Dome. And my question is, in the Iron Dome in Israel, like, where did all our money go? We've been giving them money to build this thing for every year for like 20 years or something. What did our money go to, James? If it didn't go to the Iron Dome.
My theory about the Iron Dome is you can overwhelm it, can't you? If you just get a mass amount of bombs,
I mean, it's proved. Yeah, the Iranians overwhelmed it.
You just overwhelm it. You can't pluck. You know what I mean? You can't pluck everything out of the sky, can you?
Well, especially when there's 130 rockets in the sky. Yeah, So they're cooked. But James, did you know that all of the settlers that are they push out into the Palestine, the Israeli settlers that settle there, all of their home, their food, their monthly stipend, their weapons are all paid for by U.S. tax dollars. We also got a Ko-fi. Let me get the Ko-fi real quick, then we'll jump back in with what your thoughts on. David P, shout out to you, bro. $5. Let's fucking go. He says, check my, don't ignore me on the chat. David, who are you, bro? Let me know. I'll pull up your chat. And I got like so many different names coming through here. I'm trying to connect everybody, but let me know who you are. I'll definitely check it out. But James, the Iron Dome, it seems like we paid for something we didn't get. We even, if you remember, we even requested to Israel for them to give us the technology to the Iron Dome so we could have one, and they said no. So did it really even exist?
I don't know. I think it's all smoke and mirrors. My theory on this has always been the same thing. If American tax dollars stopped going to Israel, Israel would cease to exist in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? It would literally cease to exist. You would get in next to no time a 1-state solution, and it would be Palestine. You know what I mean? That's just what would happen. The only thing that is keeping Israel in existence is American support and American tax dollars. And I think a lot of people in your country now, on the left and the right, if you take out the evangelical Christians, are sick of Israel. They're absolutely sick of Israel. I think if you were going to do, who are the 3 most hated countries in the world? It would be the state of Israel, it would be England and America in whatever order you can put it in. And I think if America ever withdraws its support, Israel ceases to exist.
No, I agree with that. Is Israel trying to get to the point where they don't need American support, or will they always need American support?
I think they'll always need American support because that's their one true ally. You know what I mean? It's like, but I think what's going to happen is we've said this, haven't we? You alluded it to earlier about the enemy within. You're importing people. These people are not just going to fucking do menial jobs. You find that they always work their way into government, don't they? Local level, national level, and they work their way up. And then you're going to get people that are going to come into your government, right? That are going to have such a pathological hatred for Israel. They're going to get power, probably through, when the Democrats next come to power, the people like Ilan Omar and all that crowd, and they're just going to cut off Israel. Eventually, they're going to cut off the funding. It's going to come sooner rather than later. You only have to listen to what's that, the white girl, what's her name, Anna Kasparian? Mate, she fucking she's kind of sums up. I don't like her particularly, but she kind of sums up that absolute apathy and hatred for Israel and Netanyahu. When she talks, it's really visceral, isn't it? You can feel the hatred coming off of her.
Yeah, but you're familiar with you're familiar with the concept of the Young Turks, and are you familiar with how they basically did the Armenian genocide, and back in the 70s, I believe, or 60s it was, and then Cenk Uygur named his program after them. And the ones that did the genocide on the Armenian Christians were Donme, which were basically the people that converted to Islam that were really Jewish, that followed Sebedai Zevi, and they're called the Donme. And that's where Cenk Uygur gets the term Young Turks. So it's a very offensive term to the Armenians because they genocided, I don't know, like million or so Armenians back then. And so the fact that she would even be on that show fucking blows my mind. How can you be based? That's like if I was on a show, calling for the death of a whole group of people and then trying to be based. It doesn't make any sense. But that's where the Young Turks come from. But let me, I forgot to do two announcements. One announcement is we're doing that veto drawing contest, everybody. So if you want to be in the veto drawing contest, there will be a prize for it. Just draw a veto like I am on my daily videos, and then tag me in it on X. Also, we're doing a sticker drop again in a couple of weeks. If you want to be in the sticker drop, DM me and I'll set you up. Yeah, James. So
if you want me to do a few YouTube channels, because you were talking about YouTube channels, do you want me to drop a few that I think are good?
Yeah. A few YouTube channels that you think are good. Like, what do you normally watch, James? I know that we talked the other day about.
I'm watching a lot of organized crime stuff. So if you want to follow Crime World, it's an Irish podcast about Irish crime and international crime and cartels. So that's a good one. I'm always on Danny Boy 83. His shenanigans in sex tourism. He's going gangbusters. If you want to follow Jim Skin on Kick, that's another one that I'm getting into.
Yeah.
Sophie Snaz, very attractive, very hot, very beautiful gamer. I don't watch it for the gaming. I watch it for the Sophie Snaz.
Bro, I must admit. Why would she name her stuff Snaz, bro? We all know what that means, right?
Yeah, she's so cool, man. I mean, a woman that's actually cool, right? She's cooler than the other side of the pillow. And also talking about cool women, I'm a fan of Courtney Brooke. I haven't been catching her lately, but she's a funny girl. She's entertaining. She's a bit of a comedian. She kind of watches body cam footage videos, and she's trying to get her YouTube and Twitter and everything going up. I think she's about 1,000 on each. She's a good girl.
I heard you guys might be flirting a little bit. What's going on there, James?
Well, she finally followed me on Instagram, and I left her a cheeky message and said, "What took you so long?" And she's ignored me now, so I don't know. I think she might have followed me by accident or out of pity or something.
Nah, bro, she follows you on purpose, man. Let's fucking go. We got Mr. Jiki in the chat. He says, voting against Israel aid gets the JFK treatment. Our politicians are too cowardly to stand up to Israel. I agree with that. It also doesn't help that a lot of them have dual citizenship, and a lot of them are getting perks for doing that, insider trading and whatnot. I mean, bro, did you see how Barron Trump made fucking $80 million on oil the day before he bought oil that they announced that they're going to war? And bro, it's such a scam. Everything's so fucking rigged. It makes you so mad, bro. But at the other end of the spectrum, too, we got all these boomers, all these boomers that are like all super pro Israel, and they always go back to that Bible verse. If you bless Israel, then God will bless you, and all this stuff, bro. They're just fucking psychos, man. They're psychos.
American politics is very funny to me. As an Englishman looking at American politics, I listen to you and you seem like very like wired in, locked in, clued in. But the people that you put into office, well, you got no choice. You either got left hand, right hand, Democrat, Republican. You don't have a multi-party system over there, do you? You just have one or the other. We have like fucking everyone. Anyone can, if you can get put the deposit in and you can get the required signatures, anyone, I can fucking run. You know what I mean? But like, you said,
but James, that is the illusion. It doesn't work that way. That's the illusion. That's what they tell everybody. But then really what happens...
Oh, yeah, you got no chance of winning, but like, it's fucking...
Really what happens is you get these PACs that come along and give one person all their support and all their money, like we saw with AOC when she got recruited out of a casting couch kind of situation. She went from bartender to senator to making, $30 million.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think's wild. It's like Ilhan Omar had no money, then she's got money. Who's that old girl that just retired? Fucking... the Democrat one, Nancy Pelosi, she's fucking loaded. You know what I mean? I don't understand how you're a public servant and yet you suddenly become a millionaire or a multi-millionaire. You know what I mean? It's very bizarre to me. And it's like you said, Barron Trump, the average 18-year-old doesn't have that kind of access or ability or the knowledge or the insider trading to obtain that money at such a young age. You know what I mean? You'll find in your normal 18-year-olds, they're like an apprentice plumber or carpenter, or they're doing a window cleaning round or something, or they're working on a building site. They're not fucking pulling off insider trading and making 80 fucking million in a day. No. It's just, it wouldn't be available to you or me, would it? It's crazy.
Yeah, facts. No. And the other thing too is when you're 18, bro, you're out there chasing women, aren't you, James? I mean, you could testify to this, right? I mean, doing insider trading is the furthest thing from your mind.
The thing about it is, Barron Trump doesn't really have any aura, does he? I mean, I think since he was like knee high to a grasshopper, he's been in a suit and he's kind of getting that curve, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's like a fucking. I just think he's being groomed.
Oh,
you know,
100%.
one of those people that is being groomed for success. It's like he's like the heir apparent. He's going to take over MAGA from his father. Everyone thinks he's going to be like some kind of big shot, business, politics, whatever he finds most influence and power in. You know what I mean? He's gonna be one of those up and comers that people are talking about. You know what I mean? He's gonna be a mover and a shaker.
Yeah, he's already there. Yeah, he's already there, bro. Yeah. He's an 18-year-old. He's worth over $160 million now from doing nothing, from like 2 days of trading. It's insane. Let me jump down in the chat right here. We got Monkfruit. He's asking, what was Darren using when he was using? I'm assuming you're saying on the phone. Yeah, we use Zoom over here when we are doing our stream. So I sent Darren the Zoom link, and that's what he was using. On the John, in the Parliament system, all the parties just team up anyways. Yeah, that's kind of what it seems like that is happening.
Yeah, he's got similar because he's Canadian, isn't he? So he's got all the UK politics, isn't he? UK laws.
Yeah. DJ John says they aren't public service, James. They're self-servants. I mean, that's true, but they're self-servants because they're getting paid off by a lobby, by the Lubavitch lobby or the Israeli lobby or the tech lobby or the whatever lobby. And they all move like how AIPAC tells them to move. And if you decide to say something against it, then you get your funding cut off. You're kicked out. So indirectly, they control who we can vote for and not vote for, and then they stuff the ballot box. It's not even fair. And then they tell us that it's our responsibility to vote, as if we really have some sort of say in this. And then they say it's our fault when things go bad. But that's the ultimate mindfuck. That's what they want you to do.
We just wouldn't have a character over here like Lindsey Graham. You just wouldn't have someone like that in the UK Parliament. The man is so rah war hawk, fucking in Trump's ear, bomb, bomb, bomb. Kissing Israel's ass 24/7. He's like got more allegiance to Israel than he has to America. It's like, yeah, we'll sacrifice every American who's living and breathing for Israel. Yeah. And it's like, dude, I mean, because Trump's the kind of character that listens to what the last person said to him So if Lindsey Graham's the last person in his ear, he'll be like, yeah, right, let's bomb the shit out of Iran. Boots on the ground, kill, 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 fucking elongate the war, spend more money. I mean, Lindsey Graham would literally sign off every last penny of your tax dollars to fund the further fucking exploration of war in Iran and the Middle East.
Yeah, you're right.
He would do it all.
Two things on that. Number one, Lindsey Graham, when we had those like hurricanes and like back in South Carolina and flooded, Lindsey Graham said, yeah, we're flooded, but we need to do more for Israel. Like he literally said that. And number two, did you know the last person to convince or to talk to Trump about going to war was Jared Kushner? Is Jared Kushner his handler? Like from the Middle East,
Probably.
from Israel? Is that what we got going on here? I know I asked that question yesterday or the day before, but I recently saw a video where Kanye West kind of alluded to that. It was an interview with Kanye maybe in 2024, I think it was, or 2023. And he said, seems like Jared Kushner is kind of like a handler of sorts. And that's kind of what I'm starting to read now. Like he's all in with the Abrahamic Accord and all that kind of stuff, doing the peace treaty. We saw how well the peace treaty turned out, huh, James? We got Israel being leveled right now.
Yeah, well, who got into Donald Trump's ear, right, and told him to get Tony Blair out of retirement, a man who is loathed in the Middle East for Iraq and Afghanistan and weapons of mass destruction and David Kelly's suicide in this country, what wasn't a suicide. And he's absolutely and he put him on the board of peace for Palestine. So who got into Donald Trump's ear? It had to be someone like Jared Kushner. So you've got Jared Kushner and you've got Tony Blair on the board of peace. Yeah. The Muslims won't stand for that.
No,
they fucking loathe Tony Blair and they loathe Jared Kushner. And how do you feel? So they don't want peace, they don't want progress, because you put two people on the board of peace that's going to impede any chance of they just want the war to continue, never-ending war, Israel and Palestine at each other's throats, America giving all their money away, and you know what I mean? It's like, it's war, isn't it?
Well,
he said he was going to end. Remember, he said he was going to end the Ukraine. Remember, he said he was going to end the Ukraine-Russia war in the first week of his second term.
Didn't happen.
Where the fuck are we?
Yeah,
didn't happen.
Two things I was going to bring up. Number one, it's definitely an agenda that they're not telling us, right? It's obvious. It's too engineered. Everything that's happening is too engineered. They're lying to us about what's really going on. We find out too little, too late after they've already forced our hand and pushed us into a situation that, oh, well, you got to do it now. Number two, I guess this whole climate change, this whole global warming is a bunch of bullshit because we're launching how many rockets? I mean, good thing that we are all using plastic straws now to save the stupid turtles, but now we're shooting all these rockets. I guess it doesn't matter, right? And then just today I heard America lifted the embargo on Russian oil. So I guess the whole Ukraine thing was all bullshit, right?
Imagine how you feel right now, how British taxpayers feel and how American taxpayers feel. From the start of the war, we've had a geezer, a midget, an ex-comedian, dresses up like a woman, a joke, comes over to your country, takes all your money in a briefcase, comes over to our country, takes all our money in a briefcase. There's people in our country that are living on the streets, ex-servicemen, people that are going to food banks, people that are so fucking poor, they're having to choose between heating and eating.
Yeah.
And we've given all our money to the fucking Ukraine, and they've been telling us we must defend Ukraine and Zelensky. Now a new war comes along, fucking Iran, suddenly we're pals with Russia again and we can throw all that shit out the window. Suddenly we need Putin, we need Russia, we need their oil because Iran are bombing the shit. They're bombing the shit out of their neighbors and friends. They're blowing up oil pipelines in the countries they're supposed to be friends with, to get back at America.
Yeah, one thing that I definitely noticed, there were a whole bunch of videos coming out of Ukraine about Jewish refugees arriving before anything happened. Like they were arriving by the trainload and overwhelming these towns. And so I feel like what's really going on is Israel is sacrificing its land and its people. It's moving a bunch of its people into Ukraine where it really wants to be so it can do the greater Israeli project in order to do this war, in order to create another kind of, situation like
a landing spot,
like the Holocaust,
a safe haven.
Like the Holocaust, right? And so everybody feels guilty about it after this is all over with. They just want to reshape the global population, the global economy And America's stuck in this now because if we pull out, the petrodollar basically collapses, James. And so if the petrodollar collapses, that's what's back in the U.S. Dollar. And then our economy, since the U.S. dollar is the global reserve right now, and it has been since the World War II, it's going to change. It's going to change to something else. Something else is going to take its spot. And then America is going to go the way that England did when America became the preeminent world power and got the global reserve currency. And then England suffered through about a decade of depression after that happened. It's the same thing is going to happen here in America. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we had Venezuela, didn't we? There was a prerequisite to Iran, wasn't it? And that was all about like grabbing oil, wasn't it? And shit like that. So I don't know, man. It's like you don't want to be. You look at America, right? And America, I suppose, are they the last great superpower? Do you consider China to be a superpower? Do you consider India to be a coming superpower? Depends how you feel. If you want to just look at how a great country, a great global power, you know, a great empire can literally crumble in next to no time. Just look at the decay of England. I bet a lot of people watching this on replay really don't ever want to come to England because what do you want to come here for? What do you want to come here for, right? Yeah. Do you want to come here for the weather? Do you want to come here for the women? Do you want to come here for the royal family, the sightseeing in London? You know, what do you want to come at it? Go to the countryside, do a bit of painting, go to a few pubs.
No, I would do that.
It's not really, there's not really anything as an American, as a country where you've got everything. I mean, I know there's I'm not casting aspersions, but I know there's some people in America that don't even leave their own state. Yeah. A lot of people don't own a passport. They've never been abroad because Facts. You've got everything. You are the land of opportunity. You've got everything. The touch of your fingers, the touch of your thumb. You go outside your door. There isn't really anything to attract you to a dying Europe. You know, the culture's completely gone because it might be nice. You want to go, oh, fuck me. I want to go to Italy. I want to go to Rome, and you know, I want to go to Milan, art and fashion, and embrace the culture, the women, the food. Yeah, but you're also going to be flooded with African migrants and gypsies. Yeah. You know what I mean? There is a drawback now. If you want to see a decline, just look at the continent of Europe or England. And I hate besmirching because I love this country. You know what I mean? It's the only thing I've ever known, and I hate besmirching it. But it can come and go really, really quickly. So, like you said, once you're in it, you've got to finish it that's a benefit to yourself. And I said this to you last week. It was all well and good killing the Ayatollah Khomeini, but they named his fucking son, who's just a younger, more hardline version of his father. Yeah. And if you don't kill him, then where are you? You've just committed all this money, you've committed all this blood, you've committed all this endeavor to put a younger person in his place. You know, you have to have some idea before you get out.
Yeah, that's why I say this is all organized and engineered for some other purpose. It's too obvious that this was not going to work, that Iran had like hypersonic missiles. There's some hypersonic missiles that they haven't even launched yet. But you touched on something very interesting there for a second, James. You talked about America as a superpower, England as a superpower. And then you asked the question, is China a superpower? Is India a superpower? And I started thinking about the distinction between those groups of countries and what makes one a superpower and one not a superpower. And I would say, like you had England and you had America, and they went through the Industrial Revolution. They had all the factories to themselves for a good, I don't know, 75, 100 years maybe, from 1800 to 19 something or other. Or, I mean, from 1850 to 1950 maybe, or something like that. It was a good 100 years of prosperity and industrialization that built up the middle class in both countries. And then like in the late 70s, when Nixon opened up China, we started losing all of our factories to China and other places like that. So it's been in a slow decay ever since then for maybe about, 50 years, I'd say, to get to this point. And I would say, no, China and India are not superpowers because they don't have the same industry base, nor has the industry been going in their country to generate a middle class for 100, 150 years, where they had been doing that in America and in England. And so far, America has still been running off of that production and off of that wealth, as we in America are the biggest consumers. We're the biggest market of the world. Say, for example, we shut our market to China. Where would they sell their stuff? They wouldn't sell it anywhere, right? They'd go bankrupt, as they have been. Same thing with India. We are getting everybody to service our market here in America and in the West, including England, including, Germany and other places like that. But what happens when we get a depression and our market collapses? That'd be very interesting. I know in China, they cannot sustain their economy with their domestic market. I know that for a fact. And also they have a much lower standard of quality over there. So say, for example, you go to China, you want to buy a washing machine, it's going to be a much lower standard of quality than we are used to in the West. What are your thoughts on those, James, if you have any?
Well, I think when I look at our country and you talk about the Industrial Revolution and post the Industrial Revolution, from an English perspective, it's collapsed. We have like no middle class now. We have like an upper class, we have no middle class, and we have like poverty, absolute lower class, rock bottom. There is no middle class because we've gutted our industry.
Right.
We're basically, we import everything and we export nothing.
Right.
When we got post Brexit, the whole idea with Brexit was we will take back control of our country. We would take back control of our currency. We would be a country that produces products, and we would export them to the world without the tariffs, the universal tariffs of the European Union. But what happened was everyone in this country on the left fought tooth and nail to make the implementation of Brexit almost impossible, to the point where everyone in this country now wants to go back into Europe and have the tariffs imposed on this country from Brussels. We used to have Sheffield Steel in Sheffield, that's collapsed. We used to have the cotton mills, in the likes of Birmingham and the Midlands, completely gone. You know what I mean? We used to have like an industry in Manchester. It was all surrounded in the north of England, and that is completely gone, completely collapsed, to the point that we, like you said, we just get all our cheap shit from China now.
Yeah.
We're an importer of we're an importer of other countries' products. When it comes to our fishing industry, we didn't fight tooth and nail. Basically, we let France have sway over our fish. So they're taking all the fish and then fucking selling it back to us.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
when we can fucking fish it ourselves.
Yeah, you make a lot of good points. Mr. Jiki in the chat, he agrees with you. He said China and India steel are awful. They don't have the materials like we do in the U.S. to make good steel. Nor do they care, Mr. Jiki. They don't care. If you go to these factories, they're doing it like with flip-flops. They don't have proper uniforms. They just don't. Their quality, they don't care about. And the other thing you said, James, about the fish. The Chinese fishing fleet is allowed to roam international waters and then go across the state lines or country lines, like in Peru, and fish their waters. And when they fish, they dredge it. They dredge fish. You know how we're as England and America, we're supposed to like respect the environment.
We have quotas, and
right.
you have to throw back certain fish.
Right, and you can't dredge fish. You can't cast a net and just dredge the ocean. Well, they are, and they have fleets of like 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, crazy number fleets of fishing that are fishing out. Like the Philippines, I don't know if you saw, it was about maybe 2 months ago, the Philippines tried to chase them out of their water, the Philippine Army, or Navy rather, not Army, and they actually rammed one of the fishing boats, and that video was all over X for a while, but they have no limit. The other thing, too, is that China still is classified as a third world country, bro. And the reason why they're still classified as a third world country is so they can get all of the financial perks from the UN and from other nations. And
I think we give them money still. I think we give China and India money.
We do. It's a big scam. It's a big fucking Ponzi scam. And what has happened when I take a step back and look is that what I see is that, corporations have rigged the game so that they get ever more increasing profits and decay the quality of the product to the point where you can't even consume it as a consumer anymore. James, did you know that Nestle, that makes the Oreos and all this kind of stuff, and some other like I think it was the ones that make the egg, what is that? The chocolate egg, Cadbury's egg. Yeah, Cadbury. Egg. They're working on trying to make a lab grown chocolate. They're trying to grow chocolate in a lab.
Well, I'll tell you something, right? We because of the chocolate prices have gone like through the fucking roof, right? We now they put a label on our chocolate. They're now selling a synthetic chocolate.
Synthetic fucking chocolate, people.
That really. If you look at your labels on like if you ever come to this country or whatever, or have a look at the labels in your country, it'll say like synthetic chocolate because it's not real chocolate anymore. Because a lot of the stuff like our stuff, Cadbury's, it got bought out, didn't it?
Yeah,
All
it
got
got put
bought
out.
out,
Yep.
and it got bought out, and they're just mass producing it, and they're doing synthetic chocolate is cheaper, and then what they're doing is they're making it smaller. So they take the product, they make it like this. I've got one here, fucking hell, right? Say this. This is a Freddo, right?
Yeah.
This is half. This is half the size it used to be, right? Twice the price, and I think I'm not sure. It's a dairy milk Freddo, so this might not be synthetic, but like this, like it's like half of what it used to be, and double the price.
Well, I don't know. Same thing happened to the Oreos and also the Nestle chocolate cookies. Oreos used to be fantastic, have a nice chocolatey flavor. Now they taste like absolute dog shit. But it's because we sold, or Nestle or whatever sold that component of its company to a Mexican company. Now they're doing synthetic chocolate. It contains, like Mr. Jiki says, the product contains 0 cacao. Yeah, it's absolute dog shit. It tastes like dog shit. And that's what they're pumping out. You know, it tastes terrible. So this is what's going on. Like, at what point do profits not matter anymore? I mean, fuck, bro. You guys are already fucking skinning us alive for like James just said. You know, you got that little itty bitty piece of chocolate there that now costs $10. You got to take out a whole Bitcoin loan, and it tastes terrible. King Yeti says Nestle buys hundreds of thousands of gallons of water from Lake Michigan for like $150 a year and turn around and ship it overseas for like $3 a gallon. Bro, the stuff that they're doing with water, don't even get me started. Okay, King Yeti, you got me started. Down in Mexico, Coca-Cola, one of their biggest Coca-Cola factories, has the water rights to the entire area of the water that they pump out so that nobody else can have the water because they pump it all. But then they distribute Coca-Cola for very cheap, and that's everywhere. And the whole diabetic rate of Mexico is going through the roof, bro. These companies, like even Nestle, stealing the water and then reselling it as bottle and claiming it's mountain spring water when it's not, bro. All of this shit's a scam, James. What are your thoughts?
Is that something to do with Ralph? I know he's a Coke fan, isn't he? So he's Ralph on the case.
Yeah.
Is that why he's got that marshmallow physique?
Yeah, well, Ethan Ralph, bro. Switching gears just for a second before we go back.
The king of the sector.
What is going on with Ethan Ralph, man? What is going on with that guy? So he flies up to Wisconsin to make a porn tape with Scarlett. I don't know if she knew that ahead of time or not. He gets her drugged up, has her sign a permission slip. I don't even know if they made a sex tape or not. Then he gets arrested for indecent exposure for, and whatever else at the airport. Then now he's trying to out Scarlett like she has coke on her. He's trying to out Nick Rekieta with all his texts. Like, what's going on with this, James? Anybody in the chat know what this Nick Rekieta text thing's all about?
I mean, it's like just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. I was saying to Ray in the chat, I was like, yeah, I think you're gonna have to drop me out on this one. You know what I mean? Because like Mercer's got it covered, the Ministry of Dude guys have got it covered. You know what I mean? They got this handled, man. They're taking care of business. And I'm like, I said to you, I think this might actually be a win for Ralph. He's come over to America. He's banged a porn star, ex-porn star, even though she's a bit crazy and a bit rough. He got arrested, then he got out, and then he slipped back across the border. And then I fucking wake up, and I was listening to Mersh, and suddenly I'm listening to Professor Grass when I wake up. And then everything's fucking changed. And he snatched the feed from the jaws of victory. And suddenly he's talking about grassing people. He's like, dumb whore, watch out, dumb whore. All these dumb whores, man. I'm like, who's he talking about? Dumb whore. And I'm like, dude, you're losing the fucking plot, mate. I said, his life is a fucking train wreck, I tell you. I said to you, right, I'm like, I know King Yeti won't like this because he gives me a bit of stick, right? But that geezer is 5 years younger than me, and he looks old enough to be my granddad. You know, I take pride in the fact that I'm 45 years old, and he looks like he could be my granddad. You know what I'm saying? He's like, his life, he's a trap. I'm surprised he's still alive, man. What a fuck! I can't imagine. Because he was crying, wasn't he? Mersh pointed out to him. He was kind of like whimpering and crying when he was arrested.
Man, yeah.
The facade of
Mersh was streaming his body cam release footage last night from when he got arrested and he was getting booked, and that was pretty wild. Yeah. Let me jump in the chat before we move on too far. Big B Trucker says, Modeles Internacional is Nestle. So that's a Mexican company. 100%. Carrie C, shout out to you, Carrie C. Good to see you. Says, I don't foresee things going good for Ralph. No. Shout out to Professor Grass as well. He had a good stream.
I think Kerry kind of liked Ralph. I think she had hope that he would make he would come out of the arc and kind of do well. She was kind of like rooting for him a bit, and I'm like, you know what I mean? He just seems to be like a guy that can fuck up a cup of coffee. You know what I mean? He's like, he goes over there, right? And his only mission is keep it stum, keep it on an even keel, have sex with Scarlett, have a bit of fun, have a few drinks, maybe go for a meal, pop back across the border, jobs are good, and you win. Well, but he can't even do that because he's so thin-skinned, isn't he? She says one thing, right? And he's like, you can tell that he hates women. I don't know if this is anything to do with his mother, but he fucking hates women with a passion. It's like, dumb whore. Don't ever do or say that on bitch. Dumb whore. It's like it suddenly comes out so visceral that I can't remember the last time, if ever, I've called a bird a bitch or dumb whore. I can't even remember if that's even in my lexicon. I don't even know.
No, I agree with that. I've called, I call people bitches sometimes. I've called that in a fun way. Like, hey, let's go out. Let's get these
not
bitches.
In a vicious way, like he's going to beat the shit out of her. You know what I mean? I think I coined it. I coined the Sid and Nancy thing. And this is the bit that got me. I did it under Ethan Rausch's tweet, right, where he did the grey picture, and I found the grey Sid and Nancy picture, and he thought it was a compliment. Mate, I don't know if you know how the story ends, but it wasn't a compliment. No. I'm talking like, murder, drug overdose.
Yeah. We got Carrie C in the chat. She says she honestly believed he was on a redemption arc last summer. I don't, I thought that maybe he would go like, have you guys seen Justified? I love that show, Justified. It has Walter Goggins in it, and he plays
Boyd
Crowder. I thought maybe Ethan Ralph was going to do a little Boyd Crowder pastor act, like come back to Jesus, carry the Bible around, start a church, that whole thing. He's got that Southern element in him. I thought maybe that was going to happen, but no, you're right, James. He's really lit everybody's tongues on fire by talking about him because he's provided so much content. I'd love to see the Recader stuff. Yeah,
I would love to see the fallout from the Recader stuff because Recader's never backward in coming forward, is he? And Ethan Ralph is like a combative personality. And I always wanted to know what went on with them. Remember when they met up?
Yeah.
And there was a picture of the four of them together. You had the throuple, and you had Ethan Ralph kind of like hanging off on the side like this, doing this. Because the throuple didn't want to get near him because he stank a bit. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it was like, they all piled up to take down Steel Toe. But we live in a really parallel universe where now Ethan Ralph's best pals with Steel Toe, and he wants to take down Regainer.
Bro, so weird. Now,
I can't keep up with these people.
Was that with Dick Masterson and what's his name? The poor guy who got killed in Ukraine. What was that guy's name? I forget his name.
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh, Gonzalo Lira. Yeah. Poor guy.
But like Dick Masterson, didn't he? He tweeted, didn't he? Ralph win. And then Mersh went over the top and started taking the piss out of Dick Masterson. It's a funny old world, isn't it, like this thing? Because like your friends are your enemies, then your enemies are your friends, and then you're kind of neutral, and you kind of swap around all your allegiances. Well, the online games, it's a funny old world, the online game.
Well, the online game, when I look at it, I think that, it's a misconception to even think that there are friends and enemies. All there is if you can win the audience or not. And Ralph definitely won the audience. I mean, like, your enemies become your amplifier. They amplify your message. They amplify your image. They advertise for you. If you can provide content that's juicy enough, everybody's going to spread it, and then that's a win for you. Now, of course, would I want to bring Ralph over to a family barbecue? Hell no, right? Carrie C in the chat says Coach Red Pill. That's who it was. Coach Red Pill.
Coach Dead Pill now.
Yeah. Ric Flair's hair says Mexican. Yeah, did you hear Ralph? Like, he couldn't even say Mexican right. He said, I live in Mexico. I live in Mexico. That was pretty funny. I couldn't believe that. Bro, that was wild.
It doesn't shock me though. Ralph's a natural liar, man. Ralph can lie straight in bed. I wouldn't believe anything he said. Yeah. But is it quite possible that fucking Scarlett's walking around with baggies? She's drugged up. I'm sure of it. You know what I mean? Do you see her? She's like this.
Yeah, no, guaranteed.
She's.
Now, did Ralph make his flight? Is he back in Mexico now? Does anybody know? I think he probably made that flight.
Murder. He's a murder.
He's a murder.
Murder.
He's down there.
Murder.
He's now. I also saw that Scarlett demanded a refund. So to speak. Ralph met that goal for the sex tape. If you saw, I don't know if you saw that last night, but he met the goal, the financial goal for it. And she said
rejection.
She said, "Hell no, I don't even think you can get it up." And I thought that was hilarious. But she then went later on to demand a full refund from Ralph for all the money she supplied to him, and Ralph crashed out. What are your thoughts on that?
So what's that? $1,400? What's that? $1,400?
Yeah, something like that, bro. And you know, she probably was the one to bail him out. That's pretty crazy, man. That's pretty crazy.
Listen, bish, dumb whore. Watch it, dumb whore. I kept things back, dumb whore. That's what he was saying, wasn't he? Yeah. I got to that point because I haven't been really online today, but I got to the point where he was warning her, don't step any further because I've got shit on you, like I've got shit on Ricada. This is the thing, right? If you're ever going to go into business with Ethan Ralph or interact with Ethan Ralph or anyone like that, bear in mind that these people will leak your private chats.
Yeah.
The minute that you fall out, they're going to blow up on you. I've said this before. It's the same with Ethan Van Sciver. I have no truck with Ethan Van Sciver. He can go along and do his business. But Ethan Van Sciver's known as being an online grass. When you fall out with him, he exposes all your private chats. He will do it. He will monetize it. He will make great content, and he will have a field day on Trashcast. Ethan Ralph will do the same thing on the kill stream. Well, if you want to, sorry, carry on.
No, I was going to say I don't think that the comparison between Ethan Ralph and EVS is accurate, but that could be your opinion.
No, yeah, it's not a direct comparison. I'm saying what people do. You know, there's people that are online grasses and there are people that ain't. Say we ever fall out, we won't do, but say we ever fall out, I'm not going to expose our private chat, and you won't expose it either. You know, it's just the way it is. There's people that do things differently. I'm saying Ralph is a snake. Yeah. You've got to know who you get into bed to. And fucking Scarlett's a snake. Yeah. Scarlett is going to expose Ralph. Ralph is going to expose Scarlett. They're both going to go on MLC with Kevin Brennan. You know what I mean? Because Kevin Brennan loves that shit. You know what I mean? And they all love that in the Dabbleverse. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then Matt Mead's going to get involved because Matt Mead wants to beat up Ethan Ralph because he's jealous that he's no longer with Scarlett. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Yeah, I think I feel the worst for Matt Mead out of this whole situation. We got King Yeti in the chat. He says, Ralph is like his cousin who robs people for fun. He robbed all of his friends, and I have told so many of his friends not to trust him, and they all say what Mersh said about Ralph. Bro, I think I don't know about you, James, but I definitely have a couple of those people that I've come across in my family and in my life that do the same thing. And especially if they become addicts. And so, you know, that's like an addict type of culture. They'll rob you blind, bro. You sat there and you backed them for their whole life. And then all of a sudden they get addicted. And then now all of a sudden you're losing all your stuff. They're robbing you blind. And they will. Even if you say, for example, if you became semi-famous, they would sell the pictures, photos, you know, DMs or whatever. So, you know, it's very crazy, this whole thing where you have the closest people that are to you are the ones that turn on you and do the worst damage. It's very weird. And they do it just for clout, for money, you know, and destroy the relationships, you know?
Ralph has like fucking trauma. I don't fucking know, but he's a hair trigger personality. He's very hair trigger. He's got the drink issue. He's got the drugs issue. He's got the fucking misogyny. I think the only person that might hate women more than Ralph is Vito. Maybe. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a toss up between those two. Who hates women more? But like, if you put that together, and you've got like a friendship, I'm guaranteed you can't go through 24 hours in a day without there being friction or blowing up, because you will inadvertently say something that will piss them off or offend them, and then they will come at you. And you've got two choices then. You either just say, whoa, okay, mate, calm down, or you'll be the type of person like me who'll want to fucking throttle them. You know what I mean? And just get them away from it. And you know you've got that. You have to. Do you manage these people and continue to have them in their life and try to manage them, or do you discard them, throw them out, and just leave it up to God? You know what I mean? Their fate. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree with you, and I think, like, say for example, if you have one or two people like that in your life, you could try to manage them, but you shouldn't manage them, because consider this. I always do this when I'm trying to make a decision. I push things to the extremes. Say, for example, if you had 1,000 people like this in your life, you'd have to discard all of them. You can't manage all those people, bro. And so, like, with the online game is one of these situations where you have this kind of extreme where all of a sudden you could have 1,000 people just coming at you. I know I've experienced it on a small scale like that. And Ethan Ralph, you know, I was friendly with Ethan Ralph before he had all this stuff. And, you know, I talked to him every now and then. Yeah.
He enjoyed your art, didn't he?
Yeah.
He enjoyed your art,
Yeah.
and then he thought your art was shit, but he thought you were an okay cook
Yeah.
because you did
Yeah.
one thing. You did one thing,
Right.
and I've said this to you 1,000 times, right? I could spend my entire life, for however long I'm online, treading on eggshells, right? Being nice to everyone, making sure I dot the I's and cross the T's. And then one day, I'm going to say the wrong thing, or I'm not going to have the same opinion, and that fucker's going to burn me down. All because just of one thing. I've experienced this, didn't I? Remember when I said, I like Nice School. I like him. I appreciate him. He's a fellow Englishman. But he wasn't too happy when I was complimentary about Riley.
Right.
You know what I mean? He didn't like that.
Yeah.
He never made a big deal out of it, but he didn't like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm online friends with Hujan, another fellow Englishman, and now I'm getting blowback from Pod Awful and Pod Awful's allies, you know, in his podcast. They're trying to make my life a misery on X, and I just ignore them. But they're still doing the fucking AI of my mother. They're still going on about me nose, me barnet, me fucking everything, me accent, whatever. You know, anything they think that I'm bothered about, which I'm not.
Yeah.
But you know, they still do that shit 24/7. So you can't go through life doing that because you would never get anywhere. There's only 24 hours in a day. And in this online world, you can't do it either because you're gonna offend, you're gonna annoy, because you can't agree with someone all the time.
No, fact.
The thing with the Ethan Ralph thing that I find most interesting, I don't know what Mercy's girlfriend Ice Dancer looks like, right?
Yeah.
But Ethan Ralph seems very ill at ease the fact that his quote unquote ex, whatever, is now with Mersh. You know, I think he feels that kind of loss. So he must have really liked her because that really sticks in him. The bone of contention with Mersh seems to be Mersh's girlfriend, Ice Dancer. Now, like I say, I don't know what she's like. I don't know what she looks like. I don't know her personality, but that's something that's really put Ralph on edge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
He talks about her all the time on stream.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily about Ice Dancer. I think it's about how Ethan Ralph used to little bro Mersh. And now Mersh took something from Ethan Ralph, so the power dynamic is shifting, and Ethan Ralph can't stand it. I think that's what's going on. We got King Yeti.
That might be true.
King Yeti in the chat says, Ralph is a scorpion on the frog. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Now, here's a question to you in the chat as well. How do you sort these kind of people out of your life? Like, how do you make, do you have a method to make sure that you keep some of the, how do you learn how to keep some of these people at a distance? Are there red flags that you look for? Are there certain aspects of a person that you just don't associate with? Or James, what are your thoughts on that? How do you filter these type of people out your life? Is it even possible? What are your thoughts?
It's hard in real life to do it, but online I think it's pretty easy. It's like, are you with a group of people that want to lift you up? Or are you with a group of people that want to tear you down? Are you with a group of people, if one of the group goes gangbusters, starts going through the roof, which one is going to be tearing that person down or which one is going to be happy? Now, the person that tries, say you go gangbusters, right? And, you know, we're all in a group and then I go, fucking hell, well done, Ray. So proud of you, chuffed, you know, and I'm still coming around, but it hasn't like kind of worked out for me as fast or, you know, in the moment. And then maybe another one in a group, not naming names because there isn't one, this is making up hypothetical. It's like, fucking hell, James, I'm fucking pissed. I wanted it to be me, but Ray's got there. What do you think? You know, I'm going to start like working in the back to try and tear him down and bring him down a peg or two so we can get it for you or me. Well, I don't want to be anywhere near that person. If you become a success, Zaid, D-Wag, if everyone else becomes a success and I don't, I won't be the guy that's trying to tear everyone down and be bitter and resentful. I'll be like, good for you, well done. You played the game better than I did. Fantastic. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it because you're my mates. You're my online pals. You're my muckers. We have a good time. We have a laugh.
Yeah.
It isn't the be all and end all. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want to be around someone that wants to tear another person down because they're resentful of their success. Yeah. I'm very happy. Like I said to you, Ed, hey, Mersh is doing really well, isn't he? Did you see that? He got a $500 super chat, $1,000. I'm looking at fucking hell. Did you see that, Mersh? $500, $500,000. That should be you and me, bruv. Yeah. Why ain't we getting that for ourselves? Because we're not there yet. Yeah. We might get there. And when we do, I hope he's as happy for us as I am for him. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
guaranteed.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, shout out to Mersh too. I agree.
That's how I feel.
It's not a fixed pie. Is you know,
No,
it's not limited. We can all get a piece, and you just got to do the work. That's what I firmly believe. King Yeti.
hating is terrible. Jealousy is terrible.
Yeah,
It eats you away like a cancer.
yeah,
It just eats away at you like a cancer.
yeah. King Yeti in the chat, James, you might agree with this. Says Jesse is just as unentertaining as Steel Toe. Yeah, I completely agree. Not a fan of that guy at all. He's like the only guy that I blocked everything on, of him on. But
I have to honestly say it was crazy. I'll talk about it. I ignore it on X, and I will continue to ignore it. But I will say this: doing AI about my mother. If you lived anywhere near me, I tell you, it would be a totally different story. And I don't say this lightly, and I'm not trying to say I'm the hardest man in the world because there's plenty of people harder than me. But know this, right? You know, there are places that I would never go to. Family, friends, you know, associates, children. You know, there's limits. And I know that I'm a good guy at heart because I know that there's limits to what I would do and what I would say. It's always personal. It's always mono a mono. It's always man to man. It's never your extended family. It's never fucking relatives that are alive, relatives that are dead, digging through your history, trying to go after your channel, striking you, blocking you, muting you. That's just not in my nature. But I've really found there is no, that's just odious stuff. And you know, I was shocked by it. You know what? You know what I said to you? I posted pictures. I go, this is shocking. I can't believe it. This is just like, it wasn't something that really affected me, like to the point where I was going to react or I was going to. Well, I'm saying, mate, you can't. You must feel so protected in your online life to think you can get away with it, because in real life you would get punished so badly.
yeah,
in normal life,
that's what's crazy about
the
this.
things you do.
Yeah, that's what's crazy about this online situation is the amount of audacity that these people take liberties to do that in the real world they would absolutely get fucking, as you say, ironed out for it. They would get trucked. And you know, James, I was asking the question about like, how do you filter these people out? And sometimes you don't even know, right? Because have you ever been in a situation where like somebody in your group or maybe your family gets an inheritance or a piece of money and then people change? Like they've been the same the entire time, but then they change. How about you guys in the chat? Have you guys ever been in a situation like that or maybe your cousin, or maybe it was you, maybe you got an inheritance and then all of a sudden everybody in the family starts treating you different? Or maybe you get like you win the lottery or you get a great job promotion and now everybody's asking you for money and it's kind of like it doesn't stop. James, have you ever experienced that?
You have to understand something. On my mother's side of the family, the Coccaraccios, they're Italian, they're from Rome. And you have to understand that people in my family, some of the people in my family are some of the most nastiest, cruel, vindictive, hateful people that God ever gave breath to. You know, we're a bit like, if you've ever watched Game of Thrones, we're a bit like the Targaryens. You know what I mean? Where, you know, you've got good blood and bad blood. And if you watch the latest series, I think A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, they've got one of the main Targaryen characters, the one with the short hair, I forget, Aegon, is it something like that? He's got the bad blood. He thinks he's a human dragon. And there's a lot of people in my family that are like that. When one of the members of my family died, right, she fucking dived onto the coffin, right? She didn't dive on the coffin because fucking she was like mourning, right? Inside the coffin, they buried the person with jewels and money, right? And she wanted to rip the coffin open so she could get the jewels and money, so she could pawn the jewelry and keep the money, right? That's how sick. There's a sickness about money on my mother's side of the family, right?
Wow.
There's a desperation for it. They can never get enough money. They always need more money. Their pursuit of money, and with the people in my family that have got money, so like the older generation that are about to die, the younger generation will always try to position themselves so they're most favourable in the will. So they'll start sucking up. They'll start pandering, they'll start making more phone calls, they'll start making more visits to make sure that their position, like my Aunt Maria, she's the executor of my great uncle Domenico's will. And she's the executor of the will. I don't know how she got this, but she's also the main beneficiary of the will. You know what I mean? And she's moved him from Croydon, South London. She's moved him to Gloucester. So no one goes to see him anymore. He's completely under her control. He's isolated.
Wow.
He's there all the time. If he ever goes out of the house, it's because he goes to her place or her daughter's place or her son's place. He's all managed. He's in his 90s. How long he's going to last? And he's a guy that's sitting on millions,
Wow.
millions.
Wow.
And she's made it so her and her family are going to be the chief beneficiary. I think my other like great aunts and great uncles are going to get a bit of money. But I think what she did was she cut out my mother's line and she cut out my line. So
Wow.
we ain't gonna cop for a bean, mate.
I don't
But
know.
this is how mad the Italian sickness, the Roman sickness is in some members of my family. Other members they're cool, but
Yeah.
other members not so much.
Damn,
man.
bro, that's
Crazy
great.
town.
Millions. Maybe catch a bus up there, say, hey, how you doing? I'm just saying.
It's
Uh,
nah. I spoke to him on the phone the other day, right? This was what really funny, right? And I was like, he spoke for about half an hour on the phone, but don't forget he's a bit mutton now because he's in his 90s, so he's a bit dead. So you have to go, all right there, uncle. And he's like, no need to shout. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, they don't come and see me. I never really go out. And when I go to the pub, right, and I'm not allowed to drink. And when they do give me a drink, because alcoholic drink,
yeah.
he goes, I'm only allowed one alcoholic drink. They're all getting drunk, and I'm only allowed one drink. I'm like, is this some kind of like abuse or cruelty or
That's
something?
crazy.
It's like it's so bizarre. And it's like
Wow.
they've completely isolated him. And bear in mind, right, he lived in his mother and father. This guy, right, he never got married. He never got married. He never had kids. He was a permanent bachelor boy like Cliff Richard, right? He lived in his mother's house, the first house that they moved when they came across the pond. So when they came across from Rome to England,
Yeah.
he lived in that house his entire life. He inherited it from his mother and father. And he got moved in his like 90s because he was the carer for my great aunt who died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She had dementia, she had heart problems.
Is
So he then goes to Gloucester. And they basically just they've isolated him. Everything he does is with them, and they're going to cop for all the money.
how did he make his money, or was it an inheritance?
There's a bit of inherited wealth. He was also a mechanic. He was an engineer. You have to understand that they were greengrocers. My family. We had like fruit and vegetables up Surrey Street Market. You have to understand that we also did. We were big in ice cream. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
bro,
We
ice
used-
cream. Let's fucking go.
when we first came over, my family, right? This is a story of my family. When my family first came over, they sold ice cream out of a horse and cart, right? A horse and cart, right? And then they would pick up the horse shit, right? And they said our family were clothed and fed from the horse shit that they sold, from doing the rounds, in the bag, and then they'd sell that. And that's how our family were fucking like fed and clothed. We were barbers when we came over. Like I said, we had the fruit and veg stall. We did the very Italian things. We were big in ice cream,
Yeah.
and then they all branched out. A lot of my family became very successful businessmen.
Yeah.
My uncle Frankie lives in Southern Ireland now, and he's also a millionaire.
Damn.
He was a successful shipping magnate.
Nice. You guys got it out the mud. Let me go down to the chat real quick. Dickington Post says he responds very poorly to people saying that they're spying on him, like Vito saying that he has secret information on people who are talking about me, or Bog Tony whispering and sees my chats on mic. Now hold on, James. I gotta get your audio fixed. It just dropped out real quick. So let me get that. It freezes you up just for a second, but then we'll bring you back. I'm still working on trying to. I don't know why I got that bug, but I'm not gonna worry about it too much.
Tech problems, man.
All right.
Tech problems.
You're back, bro. Then we got Mr. Jeeky says that my wife says I scare all the people in her family so they'll never ask us for money. Mr. Jeeky, you gotta share your secrets and how you do that, because I gotta do that myself, bro. We got Dickington Post again. Night of the Seven Kingdoms using 16 tons instead of its normal ending song for the season finale was great. Yeah, okay. King of the Game of Thrones reference right there. Hell yeah, let's fucking
It's
go.
a really good series.
Pat says it would make a great series. Yeah, I think I'm not sure what she's referring to there, but I agree. So James, you've seen people in your family change just over money, bro. They like in a nice bit of money too, and they kind of destroy your entire family. Is that what's happened? I mean, like your extended family. I'm not talking about your close family.
But like you have to understand that they all started in Croydon. They've all gone off and done their own things. Like I say, my great uncle Francisco, he's in Southern Ireland. He doesn't want anything to do with anyone in our family. You know what I mean? He's just completely isolated himself, knowing that he's in Southern Ireland and no one will go and bother him. You know what I mean? And then, like I say, you've got my great aunt Maria. She's in Gloucester. You know what I mean? And it's just like they made their money, they buggered off. But like with my uncle Domenico, I've known him my whole life. I mean, shit, that was in his house right up there. Fuck, you can't really see it, but you know, you've got that Sacred Heart and all that, and it that was in his house, man. And I've not. He's been like he's proper family to me, and he's like he's getting mistreated, you know. And yet, when you're 90, right, you should be able to do what you want with your own money, right?
You should.
He wanted to go on holiday, right? He wanted to go on a cruise, right? He wanted to go on a cruise and see the penguins, right? And what would happen, right? They got it all set up for him, right? It was going to cost about 8 grand to do this. He's got that easy. That's chump change to him. But so he's going to go on a cruise, but he would have to. It would have to start in Argentina, right?
Yeah.
And then my great aunt Maria was like, "Nah, we can't have you staying overnight in Argentina for 24 hours. You're going to have to scrap that." No, the reason she wanted to scrap that because she didn't want my great uncle spending 8 grand on something
Of her
frivolous.
money, yeah.
That's her in her head. That's her money that he's wasting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can keep him on a really tight budget, he's in his 90s, he ain't gonna last forever, then that money's gonna come to you. Him wanting
That's
to
disgusting.
he wanted to do a hot air balloon trip. He actually managed to get that through because like my great aunt's daughter, my cousin Angela, she got that through with her husband and they managed to get him to do a hot air balloon. And he also wants to go up in a Spitfire.
Yeah.
I think that's going to cost they can get that for about 4 grand. So I think they might be able to get that through. But the trip to see the penguins, 8 grand was too much. She wouldn't sign off on it. Sign off on his own, spending his own money.
Imagine being a multimillionaire. You work your whole life to become a multimillionaire, busting your ass, and they won't even let you have 2 beers. They cut you off at one beer in your 90s,
He gets one alcoholic drink, right? One coffee. It's mental, mate. I tell you, my family, right? The disease in my family is money. They are obsessed with it. It rots their brain like a fucking cancer, man. It's like it hasn't really.
Is it primarily the women or is it the men too?
It's mainly with the women you'll find.
It's the women, bro. It's the women. I'm telling you.
It's the women. You mainly find it's the women.
Yeah. Have you ever had a relationship where a woman tries to isolate you from your family, or have you had friends where once they got with the girlfriend isolates them? And he stops talking to you, like you guys stop going out to the bar, you guys stop hanging out, you stop surfing together because she says that they need to go to the farmer's market or fucking, whatever, go spend quality time knitting or some shit like that. Have you ever had that happen?
I've had 2 things. Like I told you, Amy didn't like my mother and father. She wouldn't come round because I was living with my parents at the time. She wouldn't come around the house. The only time she'd see me is if I'd go to her house because she was living with her parents at the time. We were just out of our teens. And she's like fucking isolating me. I didn't see it because I was like, I love this girl.
You were too excited about it. You were excited.
Too into it, man. And like, but everything was done away from my parents. Every time we go out and do, it'd be with her parents. So she was basically like co-opting me into the family. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, look, fuck. We're a whole new family now, and your parents are excluded. Yeah. It's like because she just couldn't stand my mother and father. She just couldn't get on with them, didn't like them. And another one I had a relationship which I didn't like was like your friends are now my friends. They're not your friends, they're our friends, right? Yeah. And she would have their number, right? And she would bother them during the day when I wasn't around. She'd be like hitting them up, Oh, do you want to go to the cinema? You want to go bowling? You want to go for a drink down the pub? She basically was trying to like put herself in the friend group. You know what I mean? So if I was like, I want to go down the pub with my friends, have a drink. Oh, they're our friends. I'll come with you too. So I can never get away from her. She basically made herself part of the friend group. So I never got any time away from her. So that was that one that I didn't like either. Yeah. So I had no breathing space. It was claustrophobic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I've lost family members to this situation where they get with a woman and then all of a sudden you never see them again. And then all of a sudden, like you start to hear stories about yourself through other people. I don't know if this happened to you, happened to me, that are absolutely not true, but that like, you were doing this or you were doing that. And that's why we can't have a relationship anymore. And you're like, what the fuck? That never happened. What's he talking about? Or, what's going on? Why are they saying this? They're making up all these stories about how come they can't associate with you anymore. And then they try to turn their friends against you for some ridiculous reason. I've had that happen. It's very unfortunate, very uncomfortable. and I just don't want to have nothing to do with it. It goes back to one of those things that I was asking you about, James, about how do you learn how to filter these people out? Like, what do you look for when you filter these people out? You think about it for a second. I'm going to jump into the chat. King Yeti says he grew up dirt fucking poor, people. I made a lot of money and blew it all. That's the way to do it, man. Don't save it for when you hit 90 and you have some lady that's your niece that's managing all your stuff, won't let you have even 2 fucking beers, bro. I need at least 2 shots of tequila before I even feel it. He says, I've gotten more accomplished in 8 years that I've been out of prison and in 36 years of life before that. Well, bro, salute to you, King Yeti. Let's fucking go. Keep crushing it, bro, and keep talking to us. I want to hear some of these stories you got. Okay. Mr. Jiki says, Ray, she says they know I will say no, and that I can't be emotionally manipulated into saying yes, no matter how sad the sob story is. James, bro, let's talk about this for a second. I didn't used to be, but I am now immune to women's tears. It's a facade. It's a bunch of bullshit. I can't stand it. As soon as I see somebody crying like that, I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. What are your thoughts on that, James? It seems like Mr. Jiki kind of solved the problem here.
Yeah, usually when I take my clothes off and I see tears of joy from the woman, I know I've done a good job. You know what I'm saying? But no, it's like, I don't know. Women are a funny thing, man. Women are a lot like a lot of people in this online game, man. It's a fickle business. Sometimes you get lucky, you get a real diamond. You know, I've seen people that, you know, just have gone off into the sunset. They've got the perfect woman, the perfect match. They've just been really lucky. And then people like me, I seem to always get the fucking shit end of the stick. You know what I mean? I get the fucking,
well, bro,
I get the fucking crazy.
Your family made a lot of money off shit. Your family made a lot of money off shit.
Yeah, I know. You know, but I've got the crazies. I've got the fucking loons. I've got the emotional ones. You know what I mean? I've always got I've always got the ones where they got the ups and downs.
Yeah.
But yeah, going it back around to the online thing, and someone mentioned Frog Pony. I think one of the red flags that we were talking about earlier about the online thing, which people should we filter out? Who should we be dubious about? Who should we keep our distance from? I think of Frog Pony as a prime example because he seems to be like a clout chaser, like a star fucker.
Yeah.
He seems to go around all the groups, doesn't he? You know what I mean? He was very, very keen to get on the biggest problem in the universe, wasn't he? And that to him was like winning a fucking Oscar. You know what I mean? He went on there, you know, they ganged up on Vito, you know, a chat, right? And he thought, and then he even talked, didn't he? I don't know how serious he was, but he talked about, I could be a potential Vito replacement. You know what I mean? And then it's like he was in with Comicsgate and Ethan, and he wasn't. He was in with that Katie Did, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
He was in with Mint and Dalish, and then he wasn't.
Yeah.
He just seems to hop around, doesn't he? Trying to find his place, trying to find his niche, trying to find anywhere that he can get big and insinuate himself. He doesn't seem to be someone who's very genuine.
Yeah.
You know, genuinely wants to help, genuinely wants to be an online friend, an online pal. He fell out with that long-haired geezer. I forget what his name was. One of his pals that used to be on his show. I think the only one he stayed friends with is that Transylvania Jack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He a guy that loses friends all the time. You know, I'm always dubious about. You know what I mean?
That's a good red flag. Somebody who can't keep friendships. King Yeti in the chat, he says he doesn't put up with ultimatums. Ultimatums are another red flag to filter with. Love bombing is another red flag. You know, when somebody kind of overwhelms you with all this positive energy and they try to, you know, manipulate you and try to love bomb you. Another one that you just mentioned, James, is that it just escaped my my thought.
You can't keep a friendship group. You can't keep a pal. You can't keep a friend. You know, like Ethan Ralph falls out with everyone he has contact with. Eventually, he's going to blow up. Frog Tony seems to be that way, the same. You know what I mean? He can't seem to keep a group or a friend or a business partner. He can't seem to keep anything on an even keel. You know, on any given day, Monday through to Sunday, eventually it's going to blow up and fall apart. And then they turn on you like a snake. Yeah. And suddenly they don't just walk away. They turn you into an enemy and make content out of you and try and drag you down.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to say is that when they try to isolate you or give ultimatums on relationships, when they try to come and whisper in your ear about somebody else, like one of the things I definitely noticed about these type of people is they bond through sacrifice. And what I mean by that is they try to sacrifice another relationship so that you two bond. So, like for example, they'll come to like James and say, "Yo, man, that Ray guy, you know, I don't know. He think he's trying to do such and such and such and such. You know, we better head him off the pass." So they try to bond him and James over crucifixion of myself. Of course, you know, not real metaphorical crucifixion, but that's kind of how that's one of the other ways that they did that. You know, you should red flag. You should look out for is people who try to throw other people under the bus so that they can curry favor with you. That's very, very dangerous. We got Mr. Jiki in the chat. He says he grew up broke and he still lives like he's broke, even though he makes good money. When I see family going on trips, buying new cars and spending like they've never had an emergency, yeah, that's pretty fucking crazy. When those emergencies happen and they put up GoFundMes or do sob stories or a tour, I see people giving them envelopes of cash handing out. Yeah, I hate that stuff, bro. I completely agree with you. You know, one of the things that I think about a lot is the concept of trends and how people are goaded into paying like way more for something if it's a trend or if it's popular or something along those lines rather than just getting what they need. If a very good example of that are those Dodge Chargers, right? Everybody buys Dodge Chargers when they're in the military. They don't fucking need that shit. And they also get like 30 or 40% interest on their auto loan. I'm not even joking, bro. It's crazy. So that's a good looking at on that one, Mr. Jiki. Riley
I'll tell you something.
Says, good morning, bruvs. All right, what you got, James? Shout out to you, Riley.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, everyone's playing the new Resident Evil game at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're all playing it, they're all enjoying it, they're all saying it's the best thing since sliced bread. I want to play it, right? I've got my PS5. I haven't dusted off my PS5 in about a year. I thought, yeah, I'll get the new Resident Evil game. And they're like, it's 70 quid. I'm not paying fucking 70 quid for a game that I'll knock out. I'm waiting until it goes down to about 20, 30 quid, then I'll buy it. You know what I mean? That's how I am with money. It's like I told you, I need more equipment to get my setup done. But I said to you, it's not at the right price point for me at the moment. When it comes to the right price point, I'll buy it. I always think everything has a price, everything has a value that you're willing to pay. And that's who I am. I always think, you know, when people who've never had money and they win the national lottery.
Oh my God.
And they live in a council house, right? So they say there's nothing wrong with that. I've come from poverty. They live in a council house, right? And then they buy a fucking yacht. Yeah. And they buy a fucking, they buy a really expensive car, like the most expensive, like a £300,000 Bentley or something. So they buy a Bentley and then they buy a fucking yacht and they'll fucking like, but even buy a helicopter. I think of Mikey Carroll. Look up Mikey Carroll, right? Look up Mikey Carroll. He's like this guy that won the lottery over here and he was a bit of a chav, right? And he blew all his money in next to no time. You know what I mean? And he's gone back to working in the building site.
Oh, that would be heartbreaking.
He bought a big fucking house. He bought cars. He bought fucking yachts. He bought fucking helicopters. Spunked all his money. Done a load of drugs. Done a load of birds. Yeah. And it was gone within a couple of years. You know what I mean? Because they don't know. If you've never had money, you don't know how to handle it. You know, like the nouveau riche. They don't know how to handle it when they get it.
No, it's the fucking truth. It's like what Mr. Jiki says in the chat. He says he gets a visceral feeling seeing them get a $2,000 or $5,000 windfall, only to see them get a new car a month later. Fuck them. I 100% agree. You should pinch your pennies. That's how you make millions. You don't have to have millions to start pinching your pennies. One of the biggest things that I see right now is, bro, everybody should be making their food at home. Okay, figure that shit out. Make it at home. Save that money on that fucking going out to eat, DoorDash and all that kind of stuff. You're taking your literal money and you're shitting it out, bro. Get your shit together. Come on, people.
Yeah, Kerry's all over that, man. She's like, you know, someone who manages the money, manages the spending. I always see her post and that Kerry sees all over that.
Yeah, facts. King Yeti in the chat says he just gave away an '07 Honda Accord with 400,000 miles on it. Still runs like a champ, bro. It's okay. He has a backup '05 Honda Accord with 315,000 miles. Also runs like a scalded dog. Let's fucking go. I used to have an '88 Honda Accord that I drove the brakes off that motherfucker. I took that thing surfing everywhere. When I moved to Hawaii, lived there for 2 years, I had that bad boy shipped over to Hawaii, drove that all over in Hawaii, brought it back to San Diego. I think I got up to like 500,000 miles on that thing. It was a superstar. Saved me so much money. I loathe the concept of having a monthly car payment. Let's fucking go. Great point, King Yeti. 100% agree with that. DJ John just says new euphemism just dropped military men. I think he's talking about the excited party goers, if you know what I'm saying. But no, James, you're 100% right about that. You gotta, you have to be a smart shopper. You don't have to get the best. You have to get what works for you. Now, the only caveat I would say with that is if you're going to be a man that has a craft and you have tools to make the best product that you can make, you need to buy the best tools.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that's true.
Other than that, I agree with you 100%. You don't need the absolute top of the line, phone. Bro, I haven't bought a new phone in fucking years. And the one that I got, my iPhone still runs perfectly good. I think it's like an iPhone 11 or some shit like that. It's an old ass iPhone, bro. I don't
Well,
need...
I told you, didn't I?
Yeah.
With my phone that I bought the other day, I bought a nothing phone. I paid 700 quid for it outright because I didn't want to be in the contract. I told you I wasn't signing a 2-3 year contract, making payment. I'm just going to buy the phone outright, buy a fucking SIM, slap it in. And I pay like fucking 20 quid and I get unlimited broadband, unlimited fucking calls, minutes, 20 quid a month, slapped in. It was worth paying 700 quid for the phone.
Yeah,
Just
facts.
slap the phone in.
Yeah,
And
also I've bought a couple of used phones because no way I'm paying a new phone. Like for different family members or whatever, they come up to me, they drop their iPhone or whatever, they want me to replace the screen. I don't have time for that shit no more. I ain't got time to replace the screen. I'm too busy. So I go, hey, let me just buy you a new used phone or whatever, and I do that. They're like $200, bro. Works great for them. They're happy as a lark. They don't need that new iPhone 19 Pro. They don't need that shit for like, what is it? Like, it's like $1,700 now. They expect you to buy a new phone every time they come out with it. No, fuck that, bro. Like you need bro, the processor's fast enough. You don't need it any faster. Get away from the phone. That's what I tell people. Disengage from the phone. That's, make your kids use the internet on the local computer in your living room so you can see what they're up to. Don't let them have a phone back in their room. You don't know who they're talking to. Like James, I don't know about you, but I got people contacting me all the time in my DMs, and they're probably Indian men. They all pretend like they're women, but no, they're probably these Indian guys, trying to get a couple of Apple gift cards off me or something like that,
Some rupees, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're trying to get some rupees.
Sliding in.
Let me
if they're women, if they're women, I'm a sucker. I'll be diving right in, so God knows where
Now,
I'll be going over to India or something.
Let me just say this, bro. There is no woman worth her salt that's trying to pick up men online. If they're attractive at all, bro, they're getting hit on like 10, 20 times a day. If men only knew the disparagement between how much attention women get versus men, even mid women get attention like the top tier men do, bro. It's wild. Of course, they don't like
even birds like Scarlett get all the attention in the world, don't they? From middle-aged men.
Yeah, look at Scarlett now. She's everywhere. Everybody's talking about her. King Yeti in the chat, he says, fun fact about 80s model Honda Accords, they have heavy back doors. I would agree with that. The back doors were heavy. I had a nice surf rack on mine. I took my surfboards both sides. I would have 4 surfboards. I would be driving all up and down the coast. I had a bad boy when I went to college. I had a great time with it. I absolutely love that car. Drove it until it rusted to hell, bro. Love that car. King Eddie says he has to get another phone. I've had the same phone for 5 years and it's busted up. Facts. The only time I get a new phone is when the software on the phone can no longer be updated. Like, for example, the iPhone or whatever, they say, oh, we're not going to support that phone anymore. So then I'll get a newer used phone. I use blackmarket.com. They've been pretty good to me. I bought 4 or 5 phones off of them over the years. I used to replace the screens, but now, bro, it's so cheap just to buy a new used one that I don't have to do the job replacing the screens because, them screws are tiny, bro. I don't know if you've ever watched Louis Rossman, James. I love that guy. The Right to Repair, Louis Rossman. He's also a great, if you guys want to go watch him about podcasts, he's fantastic. I love Louis. Check him out. But, yeah, I don't replace screens anymore. But
it's a really attractive foreign bird. I can't remember her name, but she's on Instagram. She's got really long nails, and you see her. She bloody does all this. I'll sub to her channel. I don't know. She does all this.
She does.
Yeah, really long nails.
That's fucking
and
crazy.
She does it. She done it when she was pregnant and everything. It's mad. Fucking can't remember what. She's like some kind of European bird or something.
I'll
sub to her channel.
Is she hot?
Oh yeah, she's fucking.
Oh well, there you go,
hot,
bro.
Even when she was fucking pregnant, she was hot, mate.
Bro, an attractive woman nowadays, put them on YouTube or Kick or TikTok or whatever. They're going to be making money, bro. They're going to be printing money.
She just gets the screen, smashes it to bits, puts a new one
Oh,
on,
she
and she does all the
smashes it.
look. Yeah, smashes it to bits, does it, and she times it right. Her
Yeah.
whole shtick is she times it. She can do it in 2 minutes flat, and she's got the long nails, so it looks like she can't do it, but she's smacking it away. She gives it all the looks, the pouts, the smiles,
Oh
and
shit,
sad
bro.
saps it.
I want
And
you
I'm
might
like
you might
straight in there.
you might have to send me that link so I can check it out later. But
Yeah,
that's
I'll show
awesome.
you it. Yeah, it's fun.
The Dickington Post says the screws are so tiny the battery kit that he bought didn't come with small enough screwdriver. That's the truth, bro. And then like if they do include screwdrivers, they suck, man, because you have to get the screwdrivers that rotate in your
You
palm.
need the magnetic one, don't
Yeah,
you?
and then you have to have
Fucking
it, yeah, bro, or else it's a fucking mess. And you have to have the little tools to pry it apart, or else you break it. Yeah, it's a whole thing. So if you're looking for a good challenge to have fun and you're pregnant and hot or whatever, go for it. But otherwise, yeah, just buy
That's
a
all
new
we've
one.
got on the high street now. Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
I put it in the chat yesterday about how that's the new grooming game scandal. But all we've got on the high street now is mobile phone shops
yeah,
that do repairs and vape shops. That's all we got on the fucking high street now. Completely dead.
it's
No
toast,
high
bro.
street. It's just charity shops, fucking vape shops where you've got a load of groomers now,
Yeah,
and fucking mobile knockoff mobile phone repair shops.
yeah, I hate that. We got the same thing. Mr. Jiki says Honda has perfected the art and science of engine making. Bro, Mr. Jiki, you aren't kidding, bro. Honda and Toyota. I hope so much that they go back to what they were doing. They've used AI to fuck up their shit, to put turbos in 4 cylinders instead of just doing a V6 in a lot of their Toyotas and whatnot. And they just did that V8 thing where they had a whole bunch of those engine shavings in their Tundras that destroyed the engines and the bearings of the engine. So that was a huge disappointment. I hope they go back to this. I hope they go away from all of this bullshit, like I don't know, whatever it is with the global warming. We got to go towards batteries and all this stuff. And I don't know if you guys saw, but there's been several solar farms that were destroyed through storms in America. It's a bunch of bullshit, bro. And here we are at war, launching all the missiles that we got. This whole climate thing is a bunch of bullshit. King Yeti says, Jiki, just wish that they would use a damn timing chain and make the AC system that doesn't shit out the bed. Yeah, the ACs are a little bit rough. And don't get me started on busting thermostats. Yeah, I actually had a Nissan. I forget the truck. I had a Nissan truck that had a dual thermostat system. Terrible design. Cracked the engine head, and I had to get it fixed. Hated that. He said, fix all that, and I would buy a new one. Yeah, 100%. But yeah.
The Pathfinder's awful.
Oh, we got Clippa. Shout out to Clippa jumping on, bringing some energy in the last bit. Good to see you, bro. Yeah, the Pathfinder.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened to him, bro? What happened to Nissan? They
I don't
shit
know,
the
man.
bed.
My dad had a Nissan, and when I was younger, we were doing donuts in a parking lot, and he rolled that bitch like 6 times, and we still drove it away.
Nissans used to be the choice of all the Afghani Mujahideen fighters, bro. That and Toyota. The old Toyotas still run like crazy. I still see him out and about, and I'm like, I'm in the market to buy a new used Toyota truck. I'm trying to buy a Tacoma, and I'm trying to find a good one. But I'm trying to avoid all the newer stuff with all the computer parts in them. I can't stand that shit, bro.
Yeah, fuck new vehicles. The best car is a 2001 Honda Accord.
Honda Accords are goated. Yeah. I said
before 2005, 2007, somewhere before that.
Yeah.
That car will run 400,000 miles.
Bro, forever.
Yeah.
They look kind of funny, but they will run forever. I absolutely loved them, adored them. Like I said, I had an 88 Honda Accord. Drove that bitch all over California, all over the country, even all the way to Hawaii and back, and that motherfucker still ran like a dream. I just maintained
and of course,
the oil. That
Toyota
was
Prius, right? Toyota Prius, I obviously endorse.
Well, of course, you love the Toyota Prius because it's, I hear it's really big on the inside. Can you confirm that, Clippa?
I had the Model 3. It is much larger on the inside.
Yeah, it's basically a spaceship that has other rooms in it. Don't let the small outside deceive you. Yeah.
There's a bedroom, there's a shower,
Yeah, no.
There's a bathroom big enough I could play baseball in it. I think Nickelback said he wanted. I had that in my Prius.
Bro, and it has pull-up power, does it not?
Yeah, absolutely. It'll pull up, and it can actually haul things. People joke about the Prius, like, because the Family Guy Brian Griffin Prius sucks.
Yeah.
Right? That's from 2003.
Yeah.
The new Prius will pull a trailer. Like it is a real car.
Yeah,
at some
no,
point.
well, it pulls up on all kinds of warehouses too. You know, with
Yeah.
no problem at all.
Yeah, you can take anything you want to anywhere you want.
Right.
Do anything you want to anyone.
You can deploy things on stickers. You can deploy them on glass even. You could jump out of the car, and it looks great on a security camera.
That car did look good on security cam.
I thought it did. I was like, there you go. It's like, you know, I don't know if you like ever watched Baywatch, but it was kind of along those lines. It really stands out. Those Baywatch trucks, of course, the Baywatch women in their swimsuits, and of course the Prius, red Prius. Right.
Yeah, I never
there,
noticed
boom.
the trucks. I never saw the trucks in Baywatch.
Oh yeah, they had all those Baywatch trucks. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I got the Nissan. I got it when it was yellow, bro. I got a. I love that truck. I drove it everywhere. Had a great time. Everybody knew me because I had the yellow truck. I would be surfing all up and down the coast. So it was a lot
I
of
like
fun.
that.
Yeah,
Talk
bro.
about peacocking.
Yeah,
James, did you like the trucks in Baywatch? Or were you looking at what I was looking at?
I just like the women, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I was mostly looking at David Hasselhoff.
Well, why were you looking at the Hoff, bro? Is it?
You know that thing though? No, it's the thing though. During the 80s, right? Even if you're a bloke, right, and you love the women, right?
Oh yeah.
I always look in the mirror. I always make this joke, right? I always look in the fucking mirror and I go, I'm glad I'm me. I wouldn't want to be anyone else. But when I think about it, right? If I could be fucking Sonny Crockett in Miami Vice, or if I could be fucking Magnum, you know, Magnum PI, or I could have been David Hasselhoff, but I would have fucking loved it, mate.
Yeah.
I look at that with envy. Could you imagine how great his life was for that short amount of time?
Jesus.
You know, when he was in fucking Knight Rider and Baywatch, and Sonny and Don Johnson's life ended the moment fucking Miami Vice was over. You know what I mean?
Miami Vice.
It's like
awesome.
that was like peak.
Yeah.
I mean, the clothes, the women. I mean, I was watching a clip the other day, right? And it was like they were pulling up to the harbour, and Barbara Streisand was walking by in a cameo, and it was just like fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I can't stand her, but like, and Barbara Streisand cameo, mate, and fucking all the people. If you look at all the cameos in Miami Vice, all the amazing people and actors that were in that fucking show, I would have killed everyone in England to go back and be in that show.
We got DJ John in the chat. He says, "Damn, James Riley just came in and stole all the aura. What the fuck?"
He's got it, man. Riley's got the aura. D-Wag's got no aura.
Riley's
you know what I mean?
Yeah, Riley's got mad aura.
He's got hater aura.
No,
He's got hater aura.
Now, Riley, who were you looking at? Was it Nicole Eggert? Did you ever watch Under Siege when she popped out of that cake? Bro, that was it right there.
No.
You should watch Under Siege. Nicole Eggert pops out of the cake with Steven Seagal, completely topless. It was a fantastic scene. She was also
taking notes.
Yeah. Oh, bro, it was impressive. But she looks.
I was a Gina Lee Nolan guy.
But she looks
Gina
terrible
Lee
now.
Nolan.
Yeah, she looks homeless now. All the women hit the wall. Gina Lee Nolan was also a great one. Of course, Pam Anderson. Who was your favorite, Riley?
Yeah, Pam Anderson.
Without a doubt, right? Did you see her when she was on Home Improvement with Tim Allen?
No.
Yeah, she was actually on Home Improvement with Tim Allen first. She was on his Tool Time show. She was the first girl that was on there. She had brown hair initially. She was gorgeous. And then she like went under her transformation and all that stuff.
She's with Liam Neeson now, isn't she?
Still gorgeous.
She's dating Liam Neeson.
Yeah, she's dating Liam. Bro, she was also, she went in and talked to Julian Assange multiple times. Had a relationship with him.
W?
Yeah,
What
how
the fuck?
weird is
That's
that?
awesome.
When he was trapped in that embassy over there in
He was
England.
in the Ecuadorian embassy, wasn't he? And he couldn't come out for 3 or 4 years because he'd get arrested. Do you know how much money that cost the taxpayer to post 2 cops outside there for 4 fucking years?
Yeah.
You could have fed a third world country for a decade.
Yeah, facts. Shout out to Hal in the chat. She just showed up. That would be she has Dr. Till as her man. She is wait, I said that backwards last time, but shout out to you, Hal. Good to see you.
She's Dr. Till's handler.
Yeah, she's
People
his
don't realize
handler.
that, you know?
Yeah, she's his Erica
Handler
Kirk.
Hal.
She's his Erica
Yeah.
Kirk, making sure he stays alive. Maybe I'm not sure about that. But-
She's just waiting to take over the ministry for herself.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Ministry of Hal. I see it coming.
There you go.
She's priming Kyle right now to do the overthrow. I totally see that happening right there. But no, so Riley, so you were a big Pam Anderson fan. Definitely check her out in Home Improvement. Do you have any? Were there any others that caught your eye? Was it only Pam?
No, I'm just I didn't watch it a lot. You know, I watched as a kid. Okay, I'm a little younger than you guys, but I was a big fan of the main blonde with the big tits, who I later found out was Pam Anderson.
You were like, I don't know her name, but the main blonde with the big tits. I'm just like the
Who's
sour.
the one with
The Saudi
Who's the one with
princess.
no
Yeah.
tits and short blonde? Who's the one with no tits and short dark hair? Who's that one?
Yeah, she was flat as a
Yeah. She had a
paddleboard.
boy's haircut. She had a boy's haircut and no tits. She
Yeah,
was like a right sourpuss.
and she was really overbearing. I didn't like her at all, bro. She wasn't like funny and happy and all that kind of stuff.
You got to throw someone in there for the Romans.
Is that they're in there for the Romans? Is you got to give something for the women to watch, right? So that they feel that all the other women kind of can relate to her a little bit. Like, yeah, okay, all right.
Marcy Darcy. You got to have a Marcy Darcy in your thing.
That's right, so that everybody feels comfortable. Hal says, never. She's not taking over ministry. She likes to work off camera, 100%. So she's basically the executive producer. So watch out, Dr.
Brains
Till.
behind the operation.
Yeah, she could end you at any time. She cuts off your funding. So watch out with that. King Yeti says, Home Improvement, Pam, was possibly the best looking woman ever. King Yeti, I couldn't agree more.
I'll have to look into that.
The Home Improvement version of Pam Anderson. It's a lot like on The Mask. What was her name on The Mask? The blonde
Jennifer
girl?
Aniston?
No, on The
Cameron
Mask.
Diaz.
No,
Cameron Diaz. Yeah, sorry.
The Mask Cameron Diaz is the best version of Cameron Diaz. She still was a little bit thicker, still had a little bit of boobs. But yeah, the Home Improvement, Pam Anderson was hot as shit, bro. Check that one out for sure.
I've got 3. I can't decide. I always go back and forth whether Kim Basinger, 80s Kim Basinger, 80s Heather Locklear from TJ Hooker, or Michelle Pfeiffer when she did that run. She was like Scarface, Grease 2, that era Michelle Pfeiffer. I can't decide which one I like the most.
Yeah.
All 3 at the same time would be nice.
Yeah. Bro, yeah, Kim Basinger. I just recently watched that one. What was it called? No, the one with the Baldwin guy or whatever, where she's like, it was in L.A. I forget what it was called. Maybe somebody will remember in the chat. But bro, she was a knockout, man. She was an absolute knockout. Couldn't agree. Heather Locklear, she was fun. I couldn't really get into the TJ Hooker, bro, but I love me some William Shatner. William Shatner, I love that guy. Anything he's in, I'll watch that. What are your thoughts on that, Riley? Are you a big William Shatner fan or no?
I think that he is an interesting performer and has screen presence, but I am annoyed by the way that
You're doing the
acts.
thing. Let's go.
So I'm more of a Deep Space Nine guy myself, okay?
Yeah, let's go.
If we're talking those guys.
But
But with women, man, Ray, we got to hear your 3 too. Mine's got to be Heather's era. What's her name? The bitch from Stranger Things. But back in Heather's, I liked her.
Winona Ryder.
Thank you.
You liked Winona Ryder? Oh man, okay.
Heather's Winona Ryder, that one, just that one. And then I'll come back around. You gotta do yours, Ray.
All right.
I'm trying to think of these 80s bitches or older.
Yeah. In the chat, drop your in the chat too. If you have any crushes on women, your top 3, drop them. And if you're a woman, your top 3 men.
Yeah.
And also, if you're gay, drop it.
I bet it'd be 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
See, Eartha Kitt, 60s Eartha Kitt, Catwoman. That's my second one.
Okay. Let me try to think about who. Okay. Selma Hayek, 100%, bro. Selma Hayek is up there. When I saw her in what was that? The Quentin Tarantino movie where she was the vampire, bro. I was like, of course.
From Dusk Till Dawn,
From
Robert
Dusk Till
Rodriguez and Tarantino.
Yeah, who wasn't hooked right then and there? Okay, fucking amazing. Let's see. When I first saw, like I said, Cameron Diaz in The Mask, I thought she was fantastic. After that, I thought she lost too much weight. So, but Hollywood gonna do what Hollywood gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Then I also Catherine Zeta-Jones for a long time was pulling the heat, bro. When she did that Sean Connery movie, I forget what it was called. Was it called Entrapment? That's what it was. Back in the I think it was the late 90s, early 2000s, bro. That was fire back then. And then she hooked up with what was it? Kirk Douglas, his son, Michael Douglas. Yeah. So she was really hot. Kim Basinger, 100%. She was a fucking knockout. But then she went downhill quick after that. But then again, Hollywood life will do that to you, right? Going to all those quote unquote parties where you kind of get ran through. That's no fun at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hollywood's rough, man. People don't get it. People think that Hollywood's like Disneyland. And in many ways it really is until you understand what's underneath Disneyland. Disneyland's got a whole underside. Club 33. If you guys don't know what that is, look it up. You can figure out where to look it up and all that good stuff. But yeah, Riley, who else you got as your top?
Jennifer Connelly is a good one.
DJ John says Jennifer Connelly, Selma Hayek, Monica Buscelli. Oh, bro, Monica Buscelli, 100%, bro.
Yeah.
Knockout. 100% knockout.
Yeah, Connolly, Monica Bellucci, those are good choices. Maybe I'll go younger because I'm younger. Megan Fox has always been like my present screen example of a sex symbol.
Yeah,
so maybe Megan Fox.
Megan Fox was a knockout in Transformers, 100%. Now, do you think by any of the rumors that she's actually like androgyne or whatever they say about her, that she's kind of in between? Oh wait, did you freeze, Riley? Yeah, you freeze. Hold on, let me. I think the audio dropped out one more time. Let me. I'm surprised that it did it again. Let me add it back real quick. The audio capture. Okay, I refreshed it. All right, and did it come back? Are we back? I guess it did. Did Riley freeze? Did my program crash or something? Am I still on here? Oh, it looks like
We're still going.
I think Riley just froze. Yeah, James, you're still here. I think Riley just. I thought it was the
What about
audio,
modern
but
women?
It wasn't.
I think modern women have gone right down the toilet, mate. I can't think of any modern women I actually like outside of fucking Dua Lipa and Lou McGrath. They're about the only two I like. The model Lou McGrath who's got a fucking long hair who does all the hair adverts, man. She's fit as fuck.
Yeah.
And Dua Lipa, but other than that, man, fucking modern women.
All right,
Throw them
Riley.
away, man. The 80s women are so much better.
Oh, bro, the 80s women are fire, dog. Yeah, 100%.
No, yeah,
agree.
forget modern women. I don't know where I dropped out at, but I almost said Megan Fox, but actually 80s Phoebe Cates is a better choice. Thanks, King Yeti.
Yeah, King Yeti knows what he's talking about. Megan Fox pre-surgery. Yeah, this is the thing, is that all these surgeries are really destroying the women and not allowing them to age past 22 or 23. We saw that with that girl from The Boys, the blonde-haired girl. What is her name?
Erin Moriarty.
Yeah, Erin. Oh my God, she was gorgeous. She was fucking gorgeous, and then she destroyed her face, bro.
Yeah, that thing, didn't she, where they suck it in? What is it, bucolic or something?
Yeah, that bucolic thing.
Buccal fat removal.
Yeah, bro. I saw that. What was her name? The one from Wolf of Wall Street. She just did that. Everybody's upset.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, Margot Robbie. She just did that. King Eddie says 80s Phoebe Cates. King Eddie says 90s Pam.
Did you guys have fast times like that, or was that my generation? Like, were you guys are? I don't know where that age gap
What do you
is,
mean?
though.
What do you mean by fast times? What is that?
Well, like, were you guys the generation rewinding the VHS tape to watch Phoebe Cates come out of the pool, or is that just people my age?
No, I think I think we all did that a little bit. We were all doing that fun stuff, bro. I mean, like, we were the kind of guys. Like, I remember, a couple of the movies that came out. Showgirls was one of them. I remember when I was a lot younger. Everybody, oh my God, Showgirls! Go watch Showgirls! Oh my God, go watch Showgirls! That
fucking Jesse Spano from Saved by the Bell, old Slater's bird. You can imagine it, could you? As she goes from fucking being that geek in Saved by the Bell to doing Showgirls.
Yeah, that was insane.
Oh, I can imagine it.
Yeah.
She went from I'm so excited to stripping, and that's what most of them do.
Yeah, no. Oh, bro, you just brought up a fantastic point. Let me touch on it in a second. But yeah, you had Demi Moore was the lead in that, and then didn't you also have who was the man in it? There was a good actor. He just passed away. I forget who was the lead man in it, but it was pretty good. But yeah, everybody was talking about Showgirls. But isn't that the truth? They did the same thing with like Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana, right? They get everybody hooked into her as a character and as an actress, and then as the kids grow up with like Hannah Montana, and then they flip it and they have her go ultra like sex, whatever. So all the kids try to do the same thing, all the little girls. Now what we got is all these OnlyFans, Instagram models, and all that kind of stuff. What are your thoughts on that, James? That's some crazy shit.
Well, I told you, didn't I? Like, I keep saying it every stream, but like a career day, what do the girls want to be now in England? Like, they ask 13 and 14-year-olds, and they go, I want to do OnlyFans.
Yeah.
They see it as that's their ambition.
Yeah.
They see it as like, they see it as the glamour. They see it as the glamour job. They see it as fast money. They see it as quick money. They see like, oh yeah, you get to go to all the fucking parties. You get to hang out with all the right people. They're fucking. It's like a drug, isn't it? It's like catnip. You know what I mean? They fucking love that shit.
No, 100%, and it taps into exactly what women are triggered by. They want to be adored, worshipped, and especially for their beauty. King Yeti says she was gorgeous in Showgirls. Gorgeous cooter is what he said. Cooter. We got Mr. Jinky said he liked Penny Lane and Paige Sporanic as references when I'm drawing. Oh, that's good to know. King Yeti also
Tiffany
says,
Amber Thiessen. There you go.
oh yeah,
That
Tiffany
was the shit.
Amber Thiessen. Yeah, she was fantastic. Burt Reynolds was the man I was looking for, the actor in Showgirls. Yeah, 100%. Now, did you guys ever watch The Wonder Years? I thought Winnie Cooper in The Wonder Years was gorgeous, and also she grew up and stayed gorgeous. Riley, you know what I'm talking about? That actress.
Yeah, I know who that is. But from Impractical Jokers, they did a segment where
Oh, is that where it was?
the adult actress from The Wonder Years was brought out to meet one of the boys who had a crush on her as a kid, and he just sat there and kind of like stuttered at her and spit up on himself a little, and then left the room awkwardly.
She
was,
is still
was great.
gorgeous. She's still
Yeah.
gorgeous. Here, I'll look her up real quick. What her name was?
Danica something, I think.
Danica. Yeah, I don't want to say Pachter. I know it was
That's Danica Patrick's the
Patrick?
race car driver, I believe.
Yeah, Danica McKellar. Yeah, that's who it was, bro.
Okay.
She was gorgeous, and she's still hot. She didn't fuck up her face, and she's in a great shape, and she stays in great shape. You know, back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, women stayed in shape. They stayed attractive. DJ John just dropped a good one. Elizabeth Hurley, bro. Yeah, she used to be gorgeous.
Timeless.
Too.
She's timeless,
Yeah.
mate.
But now all the women seem to be doing facial injections. They seem to, fucking up their face. You know, you got Kelly Osbourne and the Osbourne mother. Did you see that, Riley? Like they look horrible. They look like.
I mean, as always, I blame the Kardashians. Pretty much everything wrong with culture is their fault.
Well, how is that so? I agree with you 100%. But how come the Kardashians didn't fuck up their faces? How come they still look good?
Well, they started 40 years ago. You can't start when you're 50. You have to start when you're 23, and Kim did.
Yeah.
That's why she still looks 30 at 40 something.
Yeah.
Like, you have to start. You can't fix it. You can't go back and change it. If you're gonna do all this work, you have to start right away with tiny little fillers like Megan Fox or Kim Kardashian have.
Yeah.
I think they've aged the best of anyone trying to preserve their age.
Yeah.
Everyone else turned into some fucking weird freak with bubbles around their face, and where the wrinkles were are now filled in with that Botox instead of the Botox filling it from getting wrinkles.
Yeah, it looks horrible now. It doesn't look good. They got the lip fillers, and it's not going to last as they keep growing into their 40s and 50s. They're going to look like monsters.
Right.
King Yeti says Topanga can still get it. That's of course from Boy Meets World. Hal says the Kardashians pulled a mean girl tactic on all women. LOL. Hal, I think you're 100% right on that. I never watched the Kardashians. Of course that was never
You weren't
my
keeping
thing.
up?
No, I wasn't keeping up with them. I never watched them, and then as a rule, I didn't want to watch them. Did you ever watch them, Riley, or no? Was that something maybe your?
I've watched a couple seasons because Ye was in it.
Oh,
I mean, I specifically,
sense.
maybe not a generational thing, but I was watching it because Ye's like a background character in like 5, 6 of the seasons where he just goes in and out causing problems for the main cast because they have to work around whatever he decided to do that they didn't plan.
I love that.
Which the rest of the show is this incredibly super fake, like Kim Kardashian and Ryan Seacrest like production. Ryan Seacrest is super fucking rich, because of his TV producer work.
And super
people
weird.
Just know him as the host of American Idol, but he's behind all this like culture rot stuff too.
Yeah, 100%. And also, I heard I forget who it was, but he had some meetings with some pretty dastardly people along the lines of the Epstein action, but I can't remember their names, so I'm not going to say it.
Fair.
Yeah, if I could remember the name, I'd put it out there. But no, James, did you watch the Kardashians? You don't seem like the kind of guy that would, but I had to ask.
It's not really my thing. I think the one I really watched because it was unique and it was the first out of the blocks. I watched that Keeping Up with the Osbournes. Was it called that? Home with the Osbournes. I watched the Osbournes one because, like, for me, because of Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath, he was from Birmingham up north. You know what I mean? He was like went to America, big success, and it was an interesting show, but it wasn't really my thing. I also watched Jackass. I kind of like Jackass. Jackass was good. It's fun, entertaining. No, I like that. But I'm not really a big reality TV guy. The one who's the one though who looks like a cat dating Timothy Chalamet. She looks fucking terrible, doesn't she? Was the Kardashian who's dating Timothy Chalamet?
Oh, is that Kendall?
Kendall Jenner, yeah.
Kendall Jenner.
She's the one whose face has changed the most dramatically. Because she was ugly.
Kylie. I didn't know Kylie changed the most. Is
she the one, Kylie, that changed?
Is that who you're thinking of? Well, Kendall's the one dating the kid, yeah. And then Kylie, well, she's a kid too, but
One of
Kylie's
them's
the
face
older
changed
sister.
really dramatic. I don't know which one it is. I don't know the
Okay.
names.
Yeah, Kendall was the prettiest one for sure, but Kylie was the ugliest one that got the most work, and now she's a billionaire that everybody pushes out in front of her.
Yeah.
Kendall was the taller one. She was attractive from the jump, but she got all kinds of surgeries now. And
Yep.
Kylie looked like a little dwarf or some shit, had with no lips and all that. Now she got all the lip filler. She looks wild.
Well, you know, she's a Jenner, so what are you gonna do?
I mean, you know, she could come out as a guy. You don't know. That's
Right.
one of the genes that they have in the Jenners. You know what I'm saying? They switch their sexes sometimes, and that's okay. We're fine with that. We got Hal down here. She says she's guilty. She watched him for a while. I mean, I can't hold women accountable, right? Women fall into the traps. I understand. Hal, you get a pass. You have been absolved. You know, don't worry about it, Hal. You're good.
Baptized by the ministry of dude.
Saint Mersh has allowed you to be absolved of all your sins and all whatnot. Dickingham Post said, "Well played, Elizabeth Hurley by War for Candace."
War for Cadence.
Cadence is a great song about Elizabeth Hurley.
True.
Pursue her about being hot. Yeah, she's about
Pretty
being
sure
hot.
it's about her being hot.
Yeah, pretty sure it's about.
Yeah.
Bro, she's hot as shit. Not gonna lie, she's still.
Sarah
very
Michelle
attractive.
Gellar was another one I liked from Buffy.
Did you like?
And I know what you did last
Michelle-
summer.
You like Michelle Gellar?
Sarah Michelle Gellar,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
liked it, yeah.
What about you,
Blonde.
Riley? Were you a fan of Sarah Michelle Gellar, or was that too before your time?
No, yeah, Sarah Michelle is great. I love Buffy.
Yeah. Well, what about the Wild Things? Who was that was in the Wild Things? You had what was it? She was Charlie Sheen's wife for a second.
Denise Richards.
Denise Richards, bro. Back in the day, she was fine. Now, did you see Super Troopers, Riley? Did you see Super Troopers?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, so there's a big thing, right? Would you date the guy in Super Killer, not Super Killer, but Super Troopers? Little Freudian slip there. I've been watching a little veto action. Super Troopers could have gone with Dizzy, which was the redhead with curly hair, or could have gone with her. Which one would you have picked?
Dizzy.
Yeah,
for
Dizzy,
sure.
100%. James, same question to you. Have you seen Super Troopers, that movie?
I haven't, so I'm just going to
Okay.
say what Riley said because I have no clue what's going. I have no clue what's going on right now.
Yeah,
Redhead broad.
same thing to the
Yeah.
chat. Would you guys go with?
Okay.
I'm getting DJ John. He says Dizzy for sure.
If
Yeah,
there's a blonde, I choose the blonde. Is there a blonde? I choose the
there's a
blonde.
blonde. So you would
This
go with the
guy.
blonde.
I choose the blonde.
Yeah. Dizzy was way more fun, bro. And actually, she's still super attractive. She kept her. I saw her at a couple of cons recently, and she still looks the same. Riley, if you can't believe that, she's still holding her looks really good.
That's nice. My princess isn't. My princess Hayden, the cheerleader from Heroes, Hayden Panettiere.
Yeah.
She looks just different enough now that I'm not like super into her anymore.
That's
Because
funny.
she also tried to battle aging with work in
Yeah.
like the 2010s, and now she looks more naturalistic. Like I saw her at a con a couple of years ago, and I decided not to go get a photo with her because she still is the princess. Okay,
That has to be the most snobbiest thing I've ever heard. Well,
Look.
you undid some of your work, so I decided not to go get a photo with you. Sorry.
no, it's mostly I don't want to meet her and let her down. Okay, you have to save the cheerleader
No,
to save the world.
I was wondering what would cause Riley not to pull up. Now I know. Get a little bit of
just Hayden Panettiere
get a little
with or without the work.
lip injections, and you're not going to
Yeah.
get pulled up on. Yeah. Well, you know what's crazy about her? Didn't she date that Klitschko guy, that big fighter?
I don't know. Did she?
Yeah, didn't she marry
Yeah,
him?
she
I
was
hope
with-
not.
she
I'll
was
never
with
compare to
Vladimir
that.
Klitschko.
Huh?
She
Yeah.
was with Vladimir Klitschko for a long, long time.
Yeah, and they
on
had a
off.
kid. Yeah, Klitschko's like
Yeah.
6'7" or something, and she's like 4'1". Like, can you imagine putting that shit in there? I mean, like, bro, what the hell, Riley?
And then,
That's
and then
crazy.
as soon as the war started and the brothers went back and like Vitaly's brother became the mayor of Kiev or something, and they both went back to do the whole war propaganda thing, she was off ski, mate.
Yeah.
She's like, I ain't fucking living in Ukraine, with
No.
the bombs dropping.
Well, apparently she was like a big cokehead, and that was a big problem with the relationship. And Klitschko couldn't handle it because he's a trainer. He's a big.
I love
athlete.
her so much.
You a big Hayden Panettiere fan?
You're making me love her even more.
Bro.
I didn't know she was a cokehead like that.
Yeah, bro. Apparently she's wild. Like, yeah. Did you ever watch or listen to Crazy Days of Night or watch C-Dan? You know what I'm talking about? The blind items.
No.
Okay, so there was this guy. He started this a website like back in the 2000s. I might want to say. and he would release blind items about true information about Hollywood elites and different Hollywood people, and he would drip and drop it out, and but he wouldn't say who it was, but he would put hints in there and tell who they were. And he actually has a YouTube channel now, Crazy Days and Nights, and he tells you who they are. And so he has a whole video about Hayden and about how she used to have these wild fights with Klitschko. This big massive beast of a man. And he would basically hold her back, but she would get on coke and they'd be out, and she would start yelling at him and going crazy and stuff. And then they had a baby, and I think he took the baby from her or something like that, because she had a complete come apart, and she's crashed out like crazy all the time, bro. And she would fuck everybody. She was a complete hoe and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, check it out. Maybe you like Hayden more now. I don't know that she's a complete hoe. What are your thoughts, Riley?
Yeah, that's my type.
Yeah, she's
you know
wild.
anything about me, you know that sounds like my type of woman. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, King Yeti says Hillary Duff is the perfect woman, and that Riley and him have similar tastes in women. Yeah.
Hillary aged into the biggest tits, she still looks good for her age. Yeah, as a Lizzie McGuire fan at one point, to watch her whole career through Gossip Girl was awesome. She's very hot in Gossip Girl season 4.
Yeah. Hillary Duff was hot for a long time, and then everybody lost interest I can't remember what happened. Did she get a boob job or something? People lost interest, but now it's coming back around because everybody's wait a minute. She's still fucking fire. Do you remember what happened? Why did people lose interest in Hillary Duff? I remember she fell off in Hollywood.
Yeah, I just think she aged better than she started not as hot as she got eventually.
Oh, that's true. That's true. And
she's way hotter right now than she was when she was a Disney kid or whatever. And with a lot of those Disney chicks, 18-year-old Miley Cyrus is peak Miley Cyrus. 19, 20-year-old Miley Cyrus on Hannah Montana. Yeah. That's the peak of her before she goes crazy, refracts, the rubber band snaps. Yeah. She becomes way too into drugs for a while. Yeah. Shaves her hair and does all that shit. It's but with Hillary Duff went the other way.
Talking about stretching out her rubber band with Robert Thicke. But go on. Yeah, Hillary Duff did go the other way. Yeah. Dakota Fanning, what about, or Elle Fanning? What's the oldest one that was in, she was really cute when she was a child actor, and then she got fucking butt ugly. She grew up and got butt ugly.
The one in Neon Demon's good looking. The one in Neon Demon's good looking. That's Elle Fanning, isn't it? The one in Neon Demon.
Yeah, the younger Fanning is attractive. The older Fanning that was the breakout in Hollywood.
What about the one in Wednesday? She was all right. The one in Wednesday, and then she fucked up her face. She done the thing. She looks like a fucking...
Jenna Ortega.
Oh, yeah, Jenna Ortega. Yeah. She was very cute. Yeah, she did that whole thing.
I used to like Selena Gomez. She got fat.
Selena Gomez was cute when she was on heroin, and then she got off heroin, got fat, got back on heroin. Yeah. Yeah. What about Billie Eilish? Do you guys have anything for her? Everybody makes such a big deal about her. I'm like, oh, no, she looks
in the bin. Get her in the bin.
She looks like my, that cute girl that was in science class that you're like, nah, she's not really that hot, bro.
The only game in town is Dua Lipa, mate. In that pop star world, she's the only game in town, mate.
Yeah.
Dua Lipa's great.
King Yeti's asking, does Riley like Baby Rexa? What do you think about her?
Baby Rex is great. Yeah.
Christina Ricci, that's who what about her?
That's the original Wednesday.
That's the original Wednesday. Yeah, that's the one that Owen Benjamin was with for a while. And then they broke up and they bounced on. Can you believe that? That's some crazy shit right there.
I'm more of an Applegate if we're talking Christina's. Christina Applegate.
Christina
from
Applegate
Married with Children
used to be fucking hot, bro. Now she was probably the hottest. Yeah, she was probably the hottest of that class of women. Yeah, she aged horribly. Of course, she's got that Parkinson's or whatever it is now, and she keeps shoveling pies in her face, bro. She's like a little motorhome, an RV running around.
I think she's why they're doing she's one of the big reasons they're doing a cartoon, or we're doing a cartoon Married with Children revival, because she just can't get back into character.
No, I agree.
Kelly.
Well, I agree with that, but I also like the animated concept better because they can recapture the same era and just keep going on rather than
facts.
Remember how King of the Hill, they did the reboot, but it was 20 years later and it really didn't catch on. This could catch on because they still got the same voices. That could be fire.
They're doing a Stewie spin-off, aren't they?
What would you say there, James?
I think they're doing a Stewie spin-off, aren't they, from Family Guy?
They did announce a Stewie spin-off.
Okay, I didn't hear about that. Fire. King Yeti says he's more of an AJ if we're talking about Applegates. AJ, I'm not. Do you guys know who AJ Applegate is?
AJ Applegate.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with her. But yeah, damn.
I presume sister, maybe, of Christina. I don't know.
She could be a sister, Christina Applegate. But yeah,
Wait, no, maybe I'm thinking of Allie and AJ, and they're a different group of sisters.
yeah. Okay. Well, here's one that I got. What about a young, now this is kind of funny, but what was her name? She just was in Wicked with that black chick. She's this great
Ariana Grande.
What about a younger Ariana? Of course, not Nickelodeon young. That's not what I'm talking about, people.
No, sure.
She was really cute and bubbly there for a while.
Even then, though, like in Victorious and Sam and Cat, like she's 18, 19, 20, 21 in some of those shows. So you can like Sam and Cat, Ariana Grande. She actually, looking at all this Scarlet stuff recently, and like it's always all over the feed. Some of the AIs they make of Scarlet, I'm like, wait, that looks like Ariana Grande.
I could see that. Yeah. It's weird. Isn't it weird how AI always makes you more attractive? Like, what's that all about? That doesn't make you.
Yeah, I love it as a fat guy. As a fat guy with a disheveled look, it always cleans me up.
Yeah, let's fucking go. No,
I used AI for that video of mine the other month, right? And it like fixed my beard trim, like just a little bit, tightened it up just a little. I was like, okay.
You're like, let's fucking go. Yeah. No, the Ariana Grande thing is weird because she got the whole Nickelodeon thing. Now she was in the whole. She seems like she's in a cult. Now here's a question I want to ask you guys. While I got you here, we're going a little bit overtime, people. Sorry about that. Professor Grass, he just got back from a birthday party. Shout out to you, Professor Grass. He says, "How's it going, bruvs?" Now, a question I want to ask you: do you think any of this is related? Them changing their looks, and do you think any of this is related to that Hollywood cult that we've been talking about, the secret societies and all that kind of stuff? Do you think they have to sacrifice their beauty to continue going up in Hollywood? Riley, what are your thoughts on that?
That is interesting. I've always figured when somebody becomes drastically less attractive, it's because they're trying to dissociate from being attractive to prevent future traumas.
Yeah.
Like, you see it with fat girls. They were often molested.
Yeah.
Or peered at by an uncle or something, and they wanted to get fat.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Maybe they don't even know it. So I always thought it was something like that with someone like Ariana Grande. But I mean, maybe it is what you're saying. Maybe there's this Harrison Bergeron element to it where they have to equal themselves with the rest of the elite cult of looks maxed, hammer smashed face models.
Yeah, I almost think it's like a ritualistic sacrifice. I know for a fact that people in Hollywood have contractual relationships. And what I mean by that is if they're in a movie together, they make them fuck. They fuck. And then so that the movie's better, and then they act like they're in a relationship. The latest one we have is that Wuthering Heights with Margot Robbie and that other guy, right? And she's all acting like, oh, he's so romantic. Bitch, both of y'all married. Shut the fuck up. But they're fucking. I'm telling you guys, they're fucking. Maybe you guys don't want to know that. But everybody on a Hollywood...
No, because Will Smith and Margot got outed for it.
Yeah.
Because of their affairs.
Well, also Leo and Margot fucked. Like she did that scene, that famous scene where she didn't wear any panties when she spread her legs in The Wolf of Wall Street. That happened. So they're fucking. A lot of people don't know that there's a whole different list of rules that go on in Hollywood. So I'm wondering, is this like a ritualistic thing? Like, you had that Cynthia lady that her and Ariana Grande had that relationship together during the Wicked run. That was a big deal. The Wizard of Oz, I don't know if people understand this, is a big occult property that's very, very important to Hollywood. And every spinoff thereof, like Wicked and all this stuff, is very, very important for social programming. We still talk about Wizard of Oz to this day.
Right.
Yeah, it's very important, the occult aspect of it. It's an occult. Same thing with Alice in Wonderland is a very occult, if you guys didn't know, a very occult property of Hollywood. Why do you think Johnny Depp made 300 of those bitches? You know what I'm saying? Every time I turn around, it's the Mad Hatter doing some shit. Nobody cares, Johnny. Go back to Pirates of the Caribbean, damn it. Let's fucking go. What are your thoughts on that, Riley?
Well, to take the conspiracy in the direction of what I'm familiar with, hip hop, Ariana Grande was famously dating Mac Miller up until a few months before his death. And after their breakup, like she hit this stratosphere of success.
Exactly.
Songs like Thank You Next.
Yeah.
Like, which in the song is just, she's listing like what her exes taught her, in the lyrics.
Yeah.
And then the hook is like, thank you, next. Yeah. Thank you, next. Like, she's going to keep going through these guys to absorb their power.
Pete
Davidson being
one of them.
Davidson's one of them. And as she calls him in the song, Malcolm, like Mac Miller, he was a big one. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories in hip hop about him because he was depressed, but then he overdosed on a bad batch of pink Molly, basically.
Yeah, Tucci.
And yeah, and so cool. Okay, you peep that game.
I know what that shit is. That makes your asshole.
Nobody
open up.
believes that.
It makes
Like
your-
nobody believes Mac
No.
Miller overdosed on drugs on accident. Because drug addicts, let me tell you this, don't make mistakes doing drugs. We're really good at doing drugs.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Well, one of the things that drug addicts love is the whole process of
Right.
preparation. They get like scientific.
Trevor
on that
Moore
shit.
didn't accidentally get too high. The
Right.
dude in the hot tub from Friends did not accidentally fall asleep in his hot tub.
Yeah,
on
Matt, whatever his name is. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't die on ketamine because he fell asleep in his hot tub. That's retarded.
Yeah.
Like there's some nefarious element
Yeah, they got
involved in
whacked. No,
those things.
100%.
Yeah, his handler killed him and is going to jail for it. It seems like because
Yeah.
she got caught.
Yeah.
So with Ariana Grande, like you see the light sucked out of her eyes. Her spark is gone ever since that big explosion in popularity and since his
100%.
death. And you look at the music videos they made together when she was like not quite the it girl yet.
Yeah.
And like she was totally alive making music like with him.
Yeah.
So it's, so I think what you're saying is probably true. It probably tracks. She got an access to an upper echelon and she had to sacrifice that relationship you were talking about earlier. So break it up with him. Whatever happened to him, regardless, like that relationship sacrifice, and then suddenly she gets to be world famous is sus.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, 100%. That's what's going on. We got Professor Grass in the chat. He says 100% a ritual. The music industry is steeped in it. All entertainment industry is a craft. The word craft should, give you a clue that it's social engineering or witchcraft is what they call it. 100%. Bro, even the visual arts.
craft, witchcraft.
All of the arts are a craft, okay, that are used to subtly, influence people in one direction or another, emotionally, subconsciously. That's all of this is, 100%. Tank says like and share. Shout out to you, Tank. Saw you just popped on. Good to see you, buddy. Hal says she thought Trevor fell from the balcony or something. Yeah, maybe he overdosed on concrete. You ever think about that, Hal?
Yeah, but the chances of that guy years into living there by that, right? It's his balcony fell off.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I just don't think he fell off his own balcony.
he didn't. He didn't.
I wouldn't believe it if I was told tomorrow that Dick Masterson got too drunk and fell off his balcony.
No, 100%.
Okay, I wouldn't believe that.
I thought Dick, isn't Dick a teetotaler anyway? He doesn't even drink. No, I'm just playing, bro. I know he drinks like a fish. Professor Grass heard that Trevor Moore got fucked up on homemade moonshine and fell to his death. That could be possible. That homemade moonshine. But bro, I guarantee you, none of what we're told happens. Whatever they tell us, whatever.
Well, because
we
look
hear,
at Kreger.
Yeah.
Zach Kreger got way too famous after the death of Trevor Moore, to me. So.
No, you're 100% right. And everything they tell us is social manipulation. That's the same thing with the media. Media is the craft. The craft, people. Think about the craft. So consider how much you're being influenced by all these different things coming together. The music, the video games, the artwork, the television, the craft, all of this stuff. It tries to influence you without you even knowing it. James, you know what I'm talking about. Have you experienced this, James? I'm sure you have.
Look, you and Riley have covered it fully, but I'm just saying there's too many broken lives, too many broken bodies, too many disasters for it to be a coincidence. Every time we talk about this, I always think of one person. I think of that. I think her name's Amanda Bynes.
Yeah,
I saw
Amanda
a picture of
Bynes.
her again the other day. She was like the fucking Disney princess, wasn't she? The up and comer, and she has done so much damage to her looks, hasn't she? A beautiful, woman she became, and then it's like she done everything she could to make herself look ugly. And you have to ask yourself, why would someone with natural beauty go out of their way to make themselves look ugly? That's not a normal thought process, because you've been blessed with beauty, you've been blessed with good looks, you've been blessed with opportunities, you've been blessed with the life that you've always dreamed of, and you've gone out of your way to make yourself look like the most ugly freak. Look, her eyebrows are about this thick now.
Yeah.
She paints them on there about this thick. She's got that tattoo under her eye. She's got the saggy face. She probably lives in a trailer park. I don't know. She's got no money. You know what I mean? Why would she do that unless something horrific had happened to her.
No,
You know what I mean?
100%. And I was telling you, Riley, about the crazy days and nights. This guy, he did a whole video or a couple videos about her. And long story short, Dan Snyder had impregnated her when she was a young teen, and they got rid of the baby. And that's kind of what started to send her on this spiral. And she drank like a fish, did all kinds of drugs and whatnot. Poor girl.
Yeah, Jamie Lynn too. I believe is the rumor there. Jamie Lynn Spears, like, because he had control of all that stuff. People credit him, going back to Drake and Josh, but he was there for all that. The Amanda Show.
Yeah.
Like, those are all things that he had something to do with.
Yeah, and Nickelodeon had 2 different logos. One logo used to be the feet, which he had a big foot fetish. The other logo is this splash of paint.
The splash. Yeah, it looks like the island.
Which is like the island, Little St. James. That's right. How interesting is that? With the whole Epstein connection right there. That's a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah.
Have you gone back and seen the ROTC coverage of that stuff? Because if you didn't know, Royce and Mersch pretty much broke that with what's her name, former Nickelodeon star from Zoe 101, came on their show.
Yeah, I saw.
Basically helped them break that in like 2016, 17.
That's one of the first places that I even found out about Royce and Mersch was from that. And then of course the Owen Benjamin coverage. That was my other favorite thing that kept me going back and watching it, and the highs and lows. But yeah, no, that Dan Schneider stuff is undisputed. And of course he deleted like his entire Twitter history and everything like that from back in the day. When that started coming out, and he did a really creepy interview. Did you see that afterwards where he was like, it was all weird, bro. He was denying it all and everything like that. Yeah. So this Hollywood entertainment stuff is not like what we think it is. And also on top of that, there are parents who will sell their children into this stuff, bro.
Jeanette McCurdy's mom did.
Literally sell them into it. So go do whatever he wants you to do.
Yeah.
And then even if you go back even further, think about Shirley Temple, right? She was in all of these saloons, all of these bars, singing and dancing as like a 8-year-old or something with all these men at like midnight.
Right. Well, and to go back to Wizard of Oz, she had to smoke a pack of cigarettes or whatever a day on set or more to stay like awake and do the performances. And yeah, they were abusing the fuck out of Dorothy on Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Because it had to be perfect. It was like their first big budget color film they were launching, like to set up a new tech display, basically. Tech demos now are Tom Hanks movies, like that shitty Pinocchio one or Polar Express. Like that's how we do tech demos now. Is we get Tom Hanks in a cartoon. Used to be the tech demo was like, how do we abuse this little girl? So that's what they were doing.
There is a lot of lore around Tom Hanks too, bro. I don't know.
I'm sure.
And him with the same thing. So I think you're saying the same thing about
look how fucked his kids are.
Right.
Look at Chet.
Well, that was the other thing I was going to say is like, how come none of these people that are very successful in Hollywood ever retire to a happy home, a happy family? They got all this money, all these properties, and when they never retire, bro, and their family's all tore up from the floor up. I don't know if you saw, but he recently got his citizenship to Cyprus revoked. I didn't even know he had a dual citizenship to Cyprus, but after a whole bunch of the stuff with the Epstein files came out, they were like, "Nah,
he's been trying to bail out, hasn't he? He's been going around, didn't he? And he's been fishing for an Irish passport.
Yes.
He's been fishing for all kinds of passports everywhere. So he's got a little bolt hole, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's been trying to get citizenship. Yeah, I think he did. When they did that Elvis movie, he played Colonel Parker, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't he try and get an Australian passport? I think he tried to get one of those. Because I think it was Baz Luhrmann, wasn't it? And they filmed it in Australia or something.
Yeah.
So I think he tried to fucking get a passport for that.
Who
was that guy? What was it? Rob Reiner. He got fucking killed by his kid, didn't he?
Okay, so that's a great example of the Rob Reiner thing. Rob Reiner made a video, I think it was back in the 80s, about how to properly touch your toddler. And he was talking about that you have to touch your toddler within the first 3 months of it being born, and that will program it for the rest of its life, basically. Yeah, he made some really crazy stuff. And it's coming out that a lot of stuff happened to his child, molestation, all this kind of stuff. And bro, when your son grows up to come for you and kill you, that's wild. You know what I mean? That's some crazy shit.
Worse than all that molestation or whatnot, they made him hang out with Bill Hader. Like the
Yeah.
worst kind of celebrity tier people. You got to hang out with Ashton Kutcher and Bill Hader. Like that
Oh,
sounds
Ashton
awful.
Kutcher. I did meet him one time, bro.
Was he weird and cold and like soulless, or was he?
Okay, I'm gonna tell this story. I've never told this story before, but I went. Okay, this was in my Hollywood days or whatever. I went with a famous person, a girl. She got me in, and I brought a whole bunch of my friends. I brought my brother with me too, and me and him dressed up like Bo and Luke from. It was
Nice.
Halloween. We dressed up as Bo and Luke. It was awesome. He has blonde hair, so of course he was Bo and I was Luke, and we dressed up like Bo and Luke from the Dukes of Hazzard. And so we go to this thing, this big party, this huge party down in Hollywood. Okay, on Halloween night, I think it was. And we got escorted. We had a limo. We came in the back door. We got escorted all the way up to the VIP table. We came through the kitchen and all that shit. And we went back there. And we went up, and the table across from us was Ashton Kutcher with Demi Moore. Okay. And there was a whole bunch of famous people in there. All right. And we saw we saw Matt LeBlanc. We saw who was the other guy? The other guy from Friends that does all the coke that died from ketamine or whatever. We saw him. He was,
Yeah.
Matt Perry?
Matthew.
yeah,
Matt Perry.
Matt Perry.
Matt Perry.
That's who it was. Matt Perry. He was there. A whole bunch of people were there. Cameron Diaz was there. My brother was dancing with her, made out with her that night. And it was wild. But I met Ashton Kutcher. He was sitting at a table with Demi Moore all by himself, man. And then Demi Moore came over and started dancing with us. He just stayed at the fucking table. I talked to him for maybe like 15, 20 minutes. I was on his show, that show that I was on. He was an executive producer of it.
Okay.
He gave me nothing, bro. Same with Tyra Banks. It was her show. I met her a couple times. She gave me nothing. She was fucking bizarre as hell. But yeah, Ashton was cold. He was aloof. I wasn't like a big guy, so there was none of that. Everybody in Hollywood is basically an up jumper, as James says, or a
Star fucker.
a tree climber, or whatever. And,
Right.
One of my buddies was there too, and he was on the show too at that time. He was the one that moved in with the gay dude that I told you about. And that motherfucker was burying his nose in cocaine the whole damn night, bro. What he was always running to the bathroom, running in the back, running around, jumping off the fucking ceiling. He was insane. The bouncers had to come and contain him. They don't kick anybody out if you're famous enough or if you're with the right people. But
Right. They just, meter your expectations of the party. They go, hey, calm down a little.
yeah,
You
they
can do it
temper
again.
you. Yeah, they temper you. They say, hey, they try to de-escalate
A
you.
temper.
Yeah, they try to sit you down and say, hey, just take a break, take a couple of songs off, buddy. Just take, whereas if you're out with the normal people, they throw your ass out in a heartbeat, man. No doubt about it. But yeah, so I met him. He was, like you said, cold and aloof.
He seems too warm to really be that warm. Like there's a fakeness to every time you see him in anything where he's like, hi guys, how's it going? I love everything. I'm the guy from Punk'd.
Yeah, he can
And it's
turn
like
it
the
on.
fakest smile.
He can definitely turn it on. And anybody with a switch like that, you got to be careful around.
Yeah.
The thing that really threw me off, we had a full table, right? Our table was packed. We had like 16 people in our table. Had the alcohol flowing. He had the same size table, but it was just him and Demi. And he didn't want to dance, so he let her come and dance with us. So we were out there dancing with Demi Moore, and she's a short little thing or whatever. And he just sat back at his table. He was either on his phone or doing whatever he was doing, and it didn't look like he was having fun at all. So I didn't really understand that. I guess he's more of a Diddy party kind of guy. He likes that Tucci or whatever, and wants to loosen up the old. Yeah, wants to loosen up. I think did it freeze again? Damn it. Let me get this audio input, Mac OS audio. Okay, there we go. I know we're running a little bit late here today, people, but all right, James, are you back? Are you guys back? Did Riley freeze up? You're okay over
I'm
there?
here.
Yeah, okay,
I'm good.
you're good. Okay. I don't know why it froze up like that on my OBS. Okay, you guys are back. All right, yeah. No, but I had some, so it was a wild party, and I went to many other wild parties like that, different parties, but we'll talk about those some other time. But yeah, he was very cold and aloof, and the same thing with Tyra Banks. She was cold as ice, bro.
Cold.
She was cold as ice. when I met her, she asked me some occult questions. I didn't know it at the time, but they were occult questions. She was, how like when the Masons do that secret handshake to see if you're in the clique. She did that with me, and I didn't realize it at the time. I just thought she was being funny. She asked me if I was a werewolf, like dead ass serious. And she said, are you with the werewolf coven or werewolf group, or I forget exactly how she, or wolf boy or wolf, like she was dead fucking serious. And I was like, come again? And she said, yeah, are you a wolf or something like that? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm half this, that, I got the blue eyes, blah, blah, blah. And so she didn't know like how to take that, because I didn't know what she was talking about. And then later,
to joke it back with her.
No, I met her one other time after that. Yeah. I met her one other time after that, and she was still very cold and aloof, and like she would stare at me from across the room, like she was like, like it wasn't like an attraction thing or like that. Don't get it twisted. She would just stare at me.
Sure.
Like, is this guy in with us or is he
like
not?
Keeping
in
an
with
eye
us?
on you or something.
Yeah, like she was trying to.
Is he kosher? Is he?
Yeah, she was trying to resolve. Is he in? Is he in the group or not in the group? She couldn't really figure out from my response. And I was over with the other people and having conversation, because Riley, I'm sure that that like when you go into a situation, it's like a casting, it's an audition. It doesn't matter if you're on camera or not. You're always on. You have to go on and like have the audition. You have to flip it on like a switch and be like, hey guys, like you were just talking about with Ashton Kutcher. How you doing? Oh, do you take dick? Yeah, I sure do, and I love it. Ha 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 ha. All that kind of crazy stuff, and so you just turn on. I'm sure maybe you've had experience with that, Riley. I'm not sure how much.
Luckily, all my experiences have been very good. All the rich people I've met in Hollywood were on the outside of the system already, fortunately. And then all the other, entertainment people I've met that were not in Hollywood anymore, super outside of the system. Like Spice One, I can talk about. Because I promoted a show for him and we hung out, and I've talked to him a few times. He was Tupac's best friend, and he was supposed to be in the Alpha Dog picture. Fuck, what's that movie? The Ricky Boys in the Hood. Yeah. He was supposed to be in that because like one of the characters is based on him and one of the characters is based on Tupac. And he ended up passing on it because, as he told me, casting was on some gay shit.
Facts.
And I didn't know what that meant, so I started talking to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so it really is always that. That's always where it goes.
That's always
it's like,
where
well,
it goes.
you gotta, especially if you're black, like you have to do some gay shit, or we're not gonna give you this money.
Yeah.
And so you got to think about guys like Jay-Z and how much gay shit he did.
No, facts,
a lot
bro.
of gay shit.
Right, because Jay-Z used to be basically, he was a very high level drug dealer, right? Up in New York before he even went into rap. And, you hear that a lot. They take a lot of that rap money and go start other real businesses. That happened in surfing, too. That's how Quicksilver got started. That's how all these other got started. So Jay-Z went through some shit. And even in the gang, they have rituals. They have initiations. They have, blood in, blood out kind of concepts. You know what I'm saying?
Immortal Technique made a whole song about a gang initiation gone bad.
Yeah.
Where in the fakeness of the song, where the narrative maybe not fake, maybe it's a retelling of someone else's story, but like this gang member had to end up raping his own mom to get into the gang. And they talk about shit like that all the time. Jay-Z talks about killing his brother.
There you go.
He had to kill his brother
right,
because his brother was a bigger drug dealer than him. And but Jay-Z and Pusha T were in the Epstein files, and they're like, these are guys who brag about having 5 passports and never going to jail and shit. And it's like, so I could see Tom Hanks trying to get out of going to jail.
That's exactly what's going on. And you even heard Kanye even said that, that whole, when he had that rant about the Jews and all this stuff and how they took his mom and everything like that, he alluded to it. He even alluded to it.
He'll be the first to say, like, they sacrificed his mom, there's no reason for her to die during that elective surgery, but even wanting to get an elective, like, cosmetic procedure is the social manipulation that is sacrificing your mom. Is like, he was in a position where he allowed people to think that it was normal for his 50-year-old mom to go get like a, reconstruction or something. And that goes back to the Michael Jackson stuff. Like,
Yeah.
what was he doing with that doctor with all those pain pills? Like, the social engineering, even to push you into needing to get all those procedures, that's also sacrificing you.
No,
I think is
100%.
what Ye's always talking about. He's not as literal as you are about it being a secret society, because I think he's like a guy who wasn't let in. Like, it's obvious that you can't tell that dude anything.
Yeah.
So I think he's been around all these guys and he's got this fucking like sense going. Pusha T a couple of years ago in an interview about, or 2 years ago, whatever, promoting his new album, and in an interview about why he's not friends with Ye again anymore, he said that he can't be around Ye because Ye is a real genius, the type who can tell that Pusha doesn't see him as a man.
Oof.
Like, he's in a room with Ye and he's like, that
He
guy's so
knows.
smart. He knows I don't respect him.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah.
Now, we all know now that what he was talking about was Ye sucking his cousin off or whatever.
Yeah.
But it could also be like this one little fruity art kid's not trying to fuck all these teenagers with us, so we don't like him.
No,
who knows?
I completely
But-
agree. Did you have something there, James?
No, I'm just saying, you don't have to convince me that all these Hollywood elites are dead-eyed, soulless fucks, mate.
Yeah.
You two could tell me stories all day, but you only have to take a quick glance to look at them to know that they're not on the up and up. They're not on the level. They're not kind of like street people. They're not everyday people.
Yeah.
You open your door and you see normal people every day. But when you start peeling, it's like when you start peeling an orange. You know what I mean? When you start peeling those fucking layers, you know what I mean? You see behind the curtain, and you know what these people are fucking like. They'll sell their soul to the fucking devil to get a leg up on the ladder, wouldn't they? You've seen it.
Yeah, they'll sell their own mom. But yeah, while I got you, Riley, I wanted to talk to you about like the concept of creativity and why they kept somebody like Ye around. Is because, as they go through all of this stuff and they do these actions and they like sell their soul, they can't create. So they need somebody like Ye around to generate the interest in the music industry, or else it's going to go the same way that the movie industry has gone. It's going to crash and burn.
No, that tracks. I mean, every time that he paves a road for someone else gets that spot, and it's made him like sort of weird and bitter. That song I made, Vito Let Me Down, is a parody of an unreleased Ye song called Virgil Let Me Down, about his ex-best friend Virgil Abloh. Once Ye broke into the fashion industry, they gave his best friend
I saw that
the spot as the first black creative director of Louis Vuitton.
I saw that.
And Ye invented like the job creative director,
Yeah.
basically, and didn't get to do it.
Well, he wanted that job. I know that he wanted
Yeah.
the job. He was pushing for it. That was one of the big things that he had, like, on desires of his heart. And then they went and they gave it to Virgil. And did their relationship sour after that?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think the last thing Ye recalls him and Virgil talking about was Virgil denouncing him for wearing the red hat. And it's like, oh man, so in this song, Virgil Let Me Down, the lyrics are just straight up what I parrot, right? Like Virgil, but his lyrics are Virgil's in the ground, but he still let me down. It's like this really fucking devastating song about this guy who was his best friend that he has this unrelieved tension with.
Yeah.
And he can only vent it through the music, but he wanted that job at Louis Vuitton. And Virgil took it from him. And the thing is, Yeezy didn't own Yeezy, right? Adidas
Yeah,
did. Adidas got him from Nike, made Yeezy $1 billion company with, like, using him and his name and his creativity. And he never got any like control over it though. Well, Virgil got to start Off-White. He got to have control over his own brand. If you guys don't know, Off-White was Virgil Abloh's thing. And that's like, he also got the promotion to Louis V. So in that relationship, Ye feels like he was manipulated by everybody and left out. And like, he was the real artist there. And
I'd have to agree, because the way he maneuvered, like him buying back Yeezy, was genius. How they crashed that stock. Adidas wanted to get rid of it. Ye said, I'll take it back. Now he's built it back.
Facts.
He's built it back.
That fucking gift, man, of like,
Yeah,
I did it.
Well, that's the thing, is that, like, I always talk about these people who are like this, these psychopath kind of people. They're like a train on a track. They can go forward and backwards, speed up and go slower, but they're not like creative people who are like more like a helicopter that can go everywhere, 3-dimensional space. Where they're going to be. They have to go that direction. And so that then creates this parasite kind of situation where they know they have to parasite off of real creative people. Nikolai Tesla was a good example of one. We're all using all of his technology right now. And he died penniless. He died penniless as a pauper in a hotel room, bro. So yeah, I could totally see the same thing with Ye.
Van Gogh, Poe, they all died broke. I mean, if Ye ends up dying broke, he'll be okay with it. He's like he spends money like a guy who's gonna die broke. I don't think he ever really cared about money, and that's something that was a tension in his relationship with the Kardashians. Kim has complained about it in interviews, like Call Her Daddy and stuff, in the last year. He would give away, like somebody would come over and be like, "Man, I love that Mazda," and he'd be like, "You can have it."
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like that's
yeah.
who Ye is. So.
Yeah. Well,
And I can kind of relate to that. What is it? What's it called when you do too much nice stuff for people? It's like a bad thing.
yeah,
There's like a word
toxic empathy.
for it.
Toxic empathy. Yeah, you're too nice.
Okay, well, sure. There's the phrase.
Yeah, but no, I wanted to touch on real quick.
Altruism.
Yeah, toxic altruism. Yeah, altruism is good in some respects, but you can definitely do it over the top, and you feel this guilt that you have to give everything away because you can create it and other people can't.
I've been there
Yeah.
a lot in the last 5 years of my life where it's like, well, I can pay this guy's rent, I can pay that guy's rent, you know.
Well,
Never
facts.
realizing one day you're gonna not have rent.
Right. Well, I think a very good idea is the fact that, you help somebody make a lot of money. They up and say that we came up with the money together for the down payment on the Prius. Then they take the Prius. I mean, hello, everybody. Doesn't that just, case closed right there?
Well, that's not even the worst
we
one,
got
man.
'em, boys.
Because I've had so many of these relationships that are based on creativity where once that relationship ends, you can look back and you can see that like that person's not an active creator anymore.
Right.
It's like, oh, so you were doing it with me. Like even back to my high school roommates, I wrote scripts with them.
Yeah.
But I was writing the scripts.
Yeah.
They were a sounding board at most.
Right. You had the connection to, like, I think you call it the Great Magnet. I call it the Source.
Great Magnet,
or
you call it
whatever.
the Source.
You had the connection to that, and they were kind of piggybacking on it because you wanted the relationships. You didn't want to be alone. And I very much identify with that. I did the exact same thing. I've propped people up my entire life and done things to my own detriment to help them further in their career or whatever. And then gone back, and I always said, oh, I can do it all. I can do this. I have enough time. But guess what? You don't. You don't have enough time.
Yeah. You do not have enough time.
One thing I wanted to touch on briefly is that you brought up the creative director for Louis Vuitton position. Okay. I thought this was very interesting. We went from Kanye, then we went to his friend Virgil. Now look where we're at. We're at Will Smith's son is the new creative director for menswear at Louis Vuitton. What the hell's going on there? That guy doesn't have a creative bone in his body. That's obvious.
Really? You think so? Okay, we got to do a whole stream on this because I will argue about Jaden.
Okay.
I think Jaden Smith is the artist in the family.
Okay.
Whatever happened to Will Smith that he lost it, like I actually am a fan of Jaden's icon work. I'm a fan of Jaden goes back for me to the Karate Kid. I was a huge fan of his role in that movie. Like he did my favorite Karate Kid.
Okay.
For better or for worse. Like I like that one way more than I even like Cobra Kai stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's so musically, right? Like his music era, his icon era. We're not even talking about him as a shit poster on Twitter,
Right,
which
right,
is
right.
like revolutionary. How can eyes be real? How can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't real? Like,
oh, he said
this
something
guy-
about pigeons too, didn't he?
dude, his tweets were so fucking good. But the reason I defend him musically is I'll put together a little package for you and I'll send you some stuff.
Let's do a stream on it. I'd love
We
to talk to you.
could totally talk about Jaden for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
I'd love to talk
yeah.
about Jane Smith. My position is basically how can he be creative based upon where he's come through, what he's come from, and what's
Sure.
been done to him. And we'll talk
That is
about
all
it.
very fair.
Yeah.
My counter argument when we talk about it will be because of everything he's gone through, his standards for himself are because of his position actually ended up being much, much higher
Yeah.
than normally the celebrity son, the Chet Hanks, is like, I can do whatever I want. My dad's famous. I think Jaden's in competition with his dad because of how bad his mom is, like how toxic his mom is. And naming the kids Jaden and Willow,
Yeah.
like they are meant to be the parents.
But
and that
inverted,
gives you this.
But inverted.
Yeah. And that gives you this complex, I'm sure. Like his name is his mom's
Bro,
name.
okay,
like,
no. Let me just say I agree with you on that. But here I'll say it even much clearer. I think he hates his father because his father molested him.
Oh yeah, probably.
But
that pain makes great art. He's got
French-
some good music.
He French kissed him on like when he was like 12 on like on interview shows on
the first Tom Brady.
Yeah, daytime
Making out with your son.
Bro, I know Tom Brady, that motherfucker. He's one of them too, isn't he? He's one of those guys too. He literally said that his wife at the time was a witch. What's her name? Giselle or whatever her name was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, we'll have a stream. I'd like to have a conversation about creativity through trauma through the vehicle of Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
I think that'd be
Well,
very,
because
very
like
interesting.
so Childish Gambino, the son of Kanye, sort of culturally, for a long time, that's how people thought of him, as the like ultimate influence of Kanye. Like, if Kanye has inspired any one person more, we haven't found him yet. And his earlier work said that. In his earlier work, in one of his mixtapes, he had Jaden Smith as a character throughout the album and mixtape, because of the internet, and Kawhi. And in these mixtapes, like Jaden was doing poetry that he wrote,
Okay.
like over Yay Music, and it's like, oh shit, this like 16-year-old is very talented.
Okay.
And then I think he got blocked out. He got locked out of the industry. His dad may have sabotaged him with that After Earth movie, trying
Yeah.
to put him over.
Yeah, he did.
Went very wrong. So, but we can talk about all that another time.
And then, well, yeah, we'll talk about that. But then also, have you seen Willow's latest release? What is that punk rock grunge song that she released recently? Where she's within the last week or so. But yeah, she's doing it. She's trying to be masculine, and they're trying to make him feminine. And that is a telltale sign of the occult, where they try to invert the gender. That's
Facts.
a version of sacrifice.
Jaden does seem to have lost a lot of that spark that I saw in him for a while, but there's this beautiful era of like 2014 to like 2019 that I think Jaden Smith like could have been a real artist.
I agree.
And then all that stuff with his family, and it gets worse and worse. And now at best, like his friends are cucking his dad.
Yeah.
And that's what people know him for.
Also, I mean, like he's wearing a lot of this esoteric wear. Like he went to one of the award shows wearing a mansion on his head. And that's straight out of a 1970s Rothschild Eyes Wide Shut type party. Like,
do you think that's what
that's
Shia was parodying, by the way, with the bag? This is I'm not famous anymore. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think Sheila LaBeouf is another very interesting person to talk about in relationship to this, and I think he's in the know. I think he knows this. That's why he got in a fight with that gay guy who touched his leg, because of what's happened to him in the past in Hollywood. Because
be gay over there, not in my lap.
Right. Yeah, that's why he popped off down there when he was drunk, when he was crashing out. They go through these cycles. They get their shit back together, then they have to endure the trauma, then they produce whatever they produce, and they crash out again until they eventually get broken like Britney Spears. But it's a very, very interesting topic, 100%. Let me just jump down here. Immortal Comic Books, what's up to you, bro? Good to see you in here. We're going to wrap it up soon. I didn't expect to go 3 hours, but Riley came on, so we had to shake it up a little bit. Carrie C, shout out to you. Professor Grass, life isn't fair, Professor Moore. Yeah, I'll shoot you a DM, Professor Grass, for sure. Actual Hal, shout out to you. We're going to do some final thoughts and work.
King Yeti. I like 6 of his songs, okay? I've heard 3 of his albums. I like 6 of Hobo Johnson's music.
Yeah, we got King Yeti in the chat. He's doing a great job. Curly, shout out to you. He said the Jay-Z of Daisy. I'm not sure what that means, but we probably were talking about that back in the day. So Riley,
we hate Jay-Z. We hate Jay-Z.
I don't like Jay-Z at all. Facts. Riley, what are your final thoughts as we wrap up? Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. No, I think what you and James were talking about when I joined in was pretty much everything I could have said about the beginning half of the show. The same way James feels like we cover everything. I feel like you and James cover everything.
Yeah.
So, but everything else we've just talked about, I think you and I are in complete agreement, and so is James, that to make it a certain level in Hollywood, you have to sacrifice all the things that make life sort of worth living.
100%. That Faustian bargain. All the things that make life worth living. Yeah.
That's my wrap up.
Also, everybody go follow Riley at where can they follow you? I know you got CG Scumlord on Twitter, and then
that's my Twitter. And then Clipaverse, look up Clipaverse. You'll find me on YouTube. You can check out my shirt store, my fourth wall, Clipaverse fourth wall. Just Google that, or find the link in the bio on my Twitter at CG Scumlord. Some great designs by Ray on there, and we got some more designs coming.
I got some more set up for you. I got a couple T-shirt designs. We're gonna make that pop. We're gonna make that happen. James, what are your thoughts? I mean, we covered a lot of stuff. We want an hour extra because we had Riley jump on. I wanted to pick his brain about creativity.
Yeah, man, it's so good.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
I think just with the Kanye thing, I think some people chase money and some people chase legacy. And I've always felt with Kanye, from the outside looking in, he's a man who's chasing legacy. So like Riley says, if he dies broke, he won't care because he's going to leave a legacy. The man, he's got that aura, hasn't he? He's just got that aura about him. And I think that's what fucking stands out. I mean, he's a man who's shooting for legacy. With Will Smith, he's a man who's got no legacy because he came
Facts.
over to here to London. He came over to London, right? He stood in the middle, surrounded by a few people. He couldn't get a big crowd. And he sung a song, I think, called I Like Girls.
Yep.
And he just went, I like girls. I don't know who you're trying to convince, mate, but I think you like boys. I'm not sure you like girls, mate. And I know who you're trying to convince. And the thing about Willow and Jaden, the thing I remember, I don't really have like a great reference, but I remember they said once when they were children, we don't read books and we don't listen to music because we write our own stories and we make our own music. And I think, you know, you've got to admire that kind of moxie at a young age, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they're not looking to the past, they're kind of looking to the future.
No,
And like they were kind of like, they're kind of like trying to blaze their own trail. But I think when you've got a dad like that, I mean, it must be a pain in the ass because he's like a cringe merchant, isn't he?
Yeah.
I hate that. He's a cheese ball. He's a cringe merchant. There is nothing authentic or cool about Will Smith in the way that Kanye West is the real deal. You know, Will Smith is just like, he's like an industry plant, isn't he? He's like fucking, he's no good, man.
I agree.
Can I address
what you
Immortal
got?
Comics real quick?
Yeah.
He says family is legacy, everything else is ash and dust. I would agree with that, but I do think there's a horseshoe to legacy, right? You can have a family and nobody's ever heard of you outside of that family. That family lives on another 7,000 years through genetics. But Ye is, without any exaggeration, Shakespeare and Mozart combined. I mean, it's very, very hard to find a guy like that. Like him or not, he's the most influential person of the last 20 years.
Yeah,
There's nothing in the world untouched by his opinion right now. You can find a guy who only listens to Aerosmith, and that guy will like a Kanye West song you play for him. You know, Ye was friends with Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
He's got those influences, and people that are fans of those guys feel it in his music too. Ye is one of the only performing recording artists who has done every genre.
Well, also fashion, also a huge impact.
Right, before you even get into fashion
and other things like virality on the internet. I mean, that's an industry unto itself. I mean, people make
as a personal brand thing. Like he's a pioneer in personal branding.
Yeah,
there's a reason he's one of these like 8 billionaires with a personal brand.
Yeah, I need to get me.
And he didn't have to do it through computers.
Yeah, facts, bro. Facts. I couldn't agree more. 100%. Everybody also go follow James Domenico Graben on X, James Domenico Graben 81 on YouTube. He's going to get some of them running YouTubes in there. We're going to have a good time. And of course, do the veto draw along with me. Okay, everybody, you're out there. Draw a veto, post it on X, make me laugh. Please, come on. Post it on X. We're going to have a good time with that. I'm trying to get this veto drawing challenge going on. Riley, if you want to do it, you go ahead and do it too. There will be a prize. James, if you want to do it, everybody else out there do it. Everybody in the chat.
Great Cloud, do one for me, man.
Yeah,
he done a nice little mug shot of me. Great Cloud. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you got some fan art. That's fire. What was that?
It looked like my police mug shot. It was excellent. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
What was that, Riley? What you got?
Nice. Yeah, no, James, you gotta do a veto with us though, bro.
Yeah, it'd
be very fun.
Yeah, let's do some vetoes.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Pat in the chat. Immortal Comic Books, the actual Hal. Who else we got in the chat? Still, Carrie C still rocking with us. Professor Grass, shout out to you, bro. We got to get you on when you're back from your jobs. Who else we got going on up here? I saw some other people. Mr. Jeeky. We got what was his name? King Yeti, of course. How could I forget you, bro? I hope everybody has a great day. I had a lot of fun on here talking with James and Riley. We had a great time. Covered a lot of topics. Had a kick-ass time. I hope you take this energy into the rest of your weekend. Go out there, kick some ass, get some shit going, and have fun. So Knuckles to all you guys in the chat. Knuckles to everybody. Let's fucking go.